It's that time of year too, man, with the weather changing and all that.
Yeah, I think between here and also, going over back and forth to the UK, definitely took its toll. The petri dish of an airline.
It's that time of year too.
Oh, hang on.
Changing and all that.
Can you just mute
Yeah,
that?
I think
There we go. We are
Yep,
live
yep.
streaming. We are live streaming. You're awesome. And I
Yeah.
had to let the dogs out because I literally came in the door and just headed straight down. Hey, buddy. Yeah, I know I'm in a nice shirt and I don't want it slobbered on. Bugger off.
I got a haircut today. I'm not sure they did it right.
No, bro. Oh,
No,
did
maybe.
you just get the sides done and leave the top?
Well, they were supposed to clean this up too, but I don't know.
Let's have a
Okay.
look. Looks straight on. Yeah, they've kind of done here, then they've gone out and they've done that bit. Yeah. Do I need to send you what is it? Is it Weller? I'm trying to think who that. I've got a really, really nice razor, like one of the decent pro jobs. I'm actually really happy with it. Hi.
Yeah, the barber uses a straight razor,
Oh, interesting.
but maybe I don't know. Fuck it. I don't care. I don't get paid for what I look like. Thank God. Man, I'd be so broke.
How are you doing? Anyway, how are you? Because we haven't caught up in a while. How are you doing?
Crazy, busy. It's year end, and so year end is always nuts. But FR Secure had a great year. I think
Good.
north of, I don't know, probably come in at maybe 24 million in sales.
Nice. Congrats. That's seriously awesome.
Yeah, and coming off the pandemic, man, because we made the decision last year, not to lay people off. So we ended up losing. I mean, everybody forfeited their bonus, and we ended up losing maybe $2 million last year.
Right.
But that was a legitimate sacrifice because we wanted to keep the family together. This year it's 24 and profitable. So happy.
That's big difference. And again, what a stark contrast. I mean, you probably saw the news article as well. That absolute arse that laid off 900 people on a Zoom call. And now for several days he's been beaten up in the media, and all of a sudden he's like, "Oh, I'm never so sorry. I feel really bad a day and stuff." I'm like, "You fucker."
I don't know. How do you do that, man? I mean, if you've got to let go 900 people,
even if you have to do a call, I saw the transcript of the text, and I looked at the text and the transcript, and my biggest thing for that one was, "I'm ever so sorry I have to do this. I feel bad. I cried about it last time I did it. It was all I.
Yeah.
There's a way, I think there's a way of doing it, which is like, hey,
Yeah.
as an organization, we're really sorry. As an individual who has to do this, I think there's a better way. He could have talked to HR more effectively. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
I think it's tough. I mean, but again, okay, so if you're laying off 900 people, and I think they said that was like 9% of the workforce.
Mhm.
To me, I think there's a better way of doing it. I mean, you can organize it more effectively. Each one of those persons is going to have a manager or a manager, somebody further up the food chain. You involve them. You get those people involved. And if you're going to have to lay off that many people, you take the time to do it properly.
Yeah, that's true, man. I told our leadership team, and because when we were talking about laying people off last year, it was, if you lay people off, it's because I think it's because you're shitty at your job, as a leader.
Right.
You have to be cautious, who you hire. You got to be, pretty certain on your direction. And if I hire a whole bunch of people, and I did it wrong, and I understand there's economic shit that happens, that's outside of my control, but I don't know. Layoffs are shitty. I've had to do them before as a manager, when required by, acquired by somebody else, and as part of the acquisition, you got to let half your staff go.
Yeah, I've years ago I worked for financial industry for a while, and it was this time of year they would lay people off because it affect however many people they had affected the bonuses everybody else got, and I'm like, oh, that's just
Yeah.
sucks, just absolutely sucks.
Yeah, I mean, this is such a shitty time.
Yeah,
You know
I
what
mean, especially like these last 2 years. It's a shitty time to do it anyway at this time of the time with holidays, but
Mhm.
you do it over the holidays when you're in crazy lockdown and potentially going into even more of a lockdown-esque situation, which adds more stress and pressure and hassle. It's like, to your point, it sucks.
Yeah. Chip getting fired by fax.
Oh my gosh.
What the hell? Oh, look, there's something coming through my fax machine. What the
Yeah,
fuck?
no shit. Yeah. Although I've seen, you see the ones with text messages or the breakups, the breakups by text. I'm sorry, we're no longer dating via text or SMS message. Yeah, it totally sucks. Give me
I
a
think the best way to
second.
let somebody go is the least pussiest way. So I always like doing it in person,
Yeah.
face to face. You can see my emotions. We can talk this thing out.
Yeah. I mean, I've unfortunately I've had to fire or I've had to release, whatever you want to call it. Thank you. Oh my gosh, you're awesome. Thank you. Oh my God. Ha, dog snacks. This is what I really needed. Thank you.
I'm drinking water, man. Check this out.
Yeah, I saw that. So, hi. So, talk me through that because we've really not. Would you get the hell out of the snacks? So, seriously. Can I get these in here first? I'd rather get out of the dog snacks. I'd rather get out of the dog snacks. Step away from the dog snacks. I've almost run out of dog snacks in my cookie jar.
Oh,
And so I had to go get some more, and I not had time. They were sitting on the shelf, and so I literally ran into the house and ran down here. Well, Milo followed me down. He's like, "Oh, hi, Dad. Would you get seriously?" Ugh. So talk me through the water thing. Talk me through what the hell. I mean, just talk me through this because, I mean, you've gone from drinking several of these crazy drinks. You've dropped a bunch of bloody wet. I mean, what the heck happened, for goodness sakes?
well, Thanksgiving night,
Yeah.
I had kidney stones, and
Yeah.
I've only got one kidney because they took the other one out when I had cancer.
Oh, I remember. Yeah, you've said that before.
Yeah, so I was pissing blood, and I don't know if you've ever had kidney stones before, but it. Thank God I didn't have a gun nearby because it hurts so fucking much that I mean, I just want to end the fucking pain, man. It was terrible, and it's just the second time I've had them, and so I was throwing up from the pain. I have a really high pain tolerance, man.
Yeah, I was gonna say we've had that conversation before. That
Yeah,
sucks.
yeah. So I was like, fuck it, I'm never ever ever doing this again. So yeah, changed my diet, gave up all my energy drinks. It's been 2 weeks since I've had any energy drinks.
Now, daft question, and this is because I just don't know.
Mhm.
My understanding is, and somebody can correct, my understanding is if you pretty much go cold turkey on like caffeinated beverages and stuff, it can also cause harm.
Yeah.
Get out of it. Because I mean, that's, I don't know if it's I might be wrong, something called BS or something like that, but my understanding is that I thought you actually almost have to like wean yourself off or substitute or whatever else. So do you just go cold turkey and fuck it?
Well, I think you're going to have symptoms, right? You're going to have those withdrawal
Oh yeah, totally.
symptoms. And so, the withdrawal symptoms are typically, really bad, headaches, tired as hell, sometimes, depression,
Yeah.
uh, whatever. So, but I've done that before. So I just, I just slept all day Friday and all day Saturday. The following Friday and Saturday, I just slept the entire 2 days.
Got it. So that helped just basically ease
Yeah.
your body, your system back into like a different way of doing things.
Yeah. And I think, if there was a time to give up, energy drinks and make that kind of change, Thanksgiving, I mean, I guess that's the blessing is that it happened, the kidney stone was on, Thanksgiving night. So I didn't have to like go to work the next day or anything.
Now you've done it. Have you gone in and talked to the hospital or any healthcare place and said, "Hey, how is my poor liver doing?"
No, I don't want to talk to them.
Okay, that's fine. Hey, you're talking to somebody. Somebody asked me, they're like, "Hey, who's your healthcare provider?" I'm like, I think it's the one up the road. Like, well, who's your physician? I'm like, I don't know. When was the last time you went? I'm like,
Yeah.
So yeah.
Morales is on my ass about because I'm supposed to go in and get annual MRIs, to make sure that there's no cancer again.
Yeah, you can't see me. It's this. Yeah, we'll talk about all. Yeah, let's not even go there. Yeah. Same thing. Apparently, at our age, we should be getting the wonderful probe. I'm like, I'm not sure I want to go through that. Love you all dearly, but hi, get the hell out of my chocolates as well.
Yeah. I will have to go get the colonoscopy, but
sorry, it's noisy. I'm moving biscuits and stuff.
no, it's all good, man. And for the watchers, listeners, whatever, Ryan is going to be here joining us probably in, I don't know, 40, 45 minutes. So we're just going to hold the fort until he gets here.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, catching up as well. I mean, I actually was going to try and stick my head in last week, but I was so freaking bad. I was asleep by this time last week. And for those of you who know me well enough, yeah, I'm never normally asleep at this hour. I'm literally, last night was the first night I was back on some kind of like my schedule. But the previous nights I'd been going to sleep like 7 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock at night, something like that. The only downside is I'm waking up at 2 in the morning and then I'm up till 5 or 6 in the morning, then back asleep again till 9 and then doing the day. Hi. Yeah. So the sleep schedule has been absolute shit show because of this freaking infection, throat thing, whatever it is.
We actually look good, man. I mean, you look healthy. You don't look run down.
I think it's like last day and a half has been not too bad. There's been a lot of talking, but the it's still getting scratchy at night and it's still getting messed up, but it's nowhere near as bad as it has been. I'm still waking up and spending 10 minutes, evacuating all of the night's gunk out of my nose and my throat and everything else. But
oh, hey, I finished my my Patty e-learning, and I finished that test. So now I have to do my
congrats
certification dives, and then I'll be done with that.
Oh, that's fantastic! Good news. That's actually totally awesome. Congrats.
Thanks, man. And then I want to go after that. I think the advanced.
Yeah.
Advanced open water.
Yeah, that's good. And God, it's been so many years. Yeah, it's been like 20 years since I ever remember like going through some of like the looking at what Paddy does, because we were always, hey, don't even think about it. There's one, get out of my nose, get out of that. Those are my chocolates, that's my drink. Hi. One for you and one for you.
Yeah, you still got it, man.
I know, but it's better than it was. Way better like seriously way better than it was.
Well, it's been holding on, man. How's what have you been doing for work? You've been busy on that shit too?
Yeah, I'm hunkering down, working as much as I can. I mean, a couple of things haven't been as quick as I wanted them to be. I've handed off various things to various folks as much as I can do, but it's still busy. It's still crazy. I've got stuff to do tonight when we're done. I'll try to get finished off tonight when we're done. So we'll see.
Anything fun and exciting or?
Yeah, there was one. I can't say what country, but somebody wants help. Somebody wants help getting a presidency of a country. And so they came to us. I'm like, interesting. Very interesting. You know, there's ways of doing this,
Sure.
legitimate and otherwise. And so, yeah, that was a fun. That was a fun and interesting set of conversations to have. We'll see where it goes. You know, hi, really. This is was a clean shirt. I just want to point out. Yeah. So that was yeah, that's a fun one. Get out of the rubbish bin. Thank you. Yeah, they were like, you know, they to their credit, they want to do the right things, they want to do good, and we've already done background checks and everything else on that one. Get out. Thank you. Eggnog with enough alcohol to hopefully kill off whatever else I need.
Very good.
To Matt's point on the thing, gargle hot salt. Yeah, I know I need to. I need to do lots of things, believe me. Apparently, you know, let me just be me. All right, I'll do it my way. I'm old enough and codgety enough and have gone through these things enough over the years. I know what works for my body.
Yeah, I'm game.
I
Man.
appreciate all the advice. I'm just watching all sort of things. Yeah. So yeah, no, the country presidency thing was an interesting one. There,
that is interesting.
well, I've helped a little bit in that field in other areas before, so we'll just leave it at that. And those people know that, and so they're like, you know, how would we do this, and how would that happen, and what could we do? And so we had a lengthy conversation. We'll see where it goes.
Very good.
I understand why they want to do it. The country they want to do it in, and you know, it's their home country and all that kind of good stuff, needs more love and care than I could ever imagine. And so to put myself in their shoes about what that would take is crazy. And you know, we'll help them as much as they need it if it looks like it'll work out. So it could be interesting.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, we'll have an offline conversation, but yeah. I just don't want to put it out on the public space. Hey, we're helping to overthrow, you know,
right,
risk.
Right. No, I get that, man.
All good fun, you know. We're looking at doing the online fundraising. What's those online fundraising ones?
Shit.
Yeah, one of those.
No, I don't know where my brain is. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You're doing one of those?
Indiegogo.
Okay. For what?
For the Dave thing.
Oh,
just
nice.
To get things moving faster.
Oh, hey, speaking of that, I got this shirt on.
Oh my gosh, I got mine here. Here, I have mine here.
Yep. That's for Richie. Richie's online.
You need do me a favor, send me, if you don't mind, send me a link. Yeah, Kickstarter, exactly. Thanks, the Angry Intern. Yeah, so we're going to do a Kickstarter, probably for the Dave thing. I mean, it's working, it's good, it's happy. We need more impetus and we need more things moving. And then, you know, that means also potentially bodies and all that kind of good stuff. So we're figuring it out.
Good. Yeah, it's startup world, man, it's a fucking pain in the ass.
Well, I like what Dave's doing. I like how it's working in the places we have it. I want to do more with it. But it's going to take time and all those other kind of crazy things. And I think what I'm trying to figure out is how to do it best. And for me, like that Kickstarter Indiegogo thing, I think helps a little bit more to do some things that I just can't do now. I can if I carry on doing assessment work and pen testing and virtual CISO, but there's only so much of that I can do to then funnel the money into that. And I can't do it fast enough, if that makes sense.
No, it makes perfect sense, man. Makes perfect sense. We're, you know, we talk about this all the time because, you know, my same business partner that helped, you know, with FR Secure, we're with on, you know, Security Studio. And I have to remind him, you know, kind of regularly, like, you remember what this felt like, right? I mean, it's hard when you don't know. I mean, sometimes you don't know if you're going to make payroll.
Yeah.
the good thing about software as a service, and I think, the same thing with Dave, is you're going to have monthly recurring revenue. Well, that's a lot more predictable.
Exactly. And I want to move from the model of, and I love Ryan. Ryan's been kicking stuff over to us. I mean, heck, we're doing stuff for you guys on the FR side of it.
Awesome.
I like doing that. The challenge is it's that balancing game, and you know this as well as I do.
Mm-hmm.
If I spend time over here, then I can't spend time developing Dave.
Mm-hmm.
But if I don't spend time over here, then I can develop Dave, but I don't make payroll. Or
Right.
I can spend more and more time over here, which means I don't have time for Dave, but I can buy people to help with Dave, or
Yep.
rent people to help with Dave. But then I still have to manage that, or I still have to know what they're doing, or they have to know what they're doing. And it's that freaking, and it's,
Yeah.
it's a tough balance. And
Yeah, it's always that, man. It's and I'm never really satisfied, so, I look at the Security Studio platform, and yeah, it's come a long way, but
mhm,
there's so many things that it needs to do. And I'm also not, when you code something, you don't code yourself into a corner, right? You got to think, longer term, like, what's this going to look like and what happens? I mean, there's so much contingency planning that goes into development. And, there's just a couple of places where we developed ourselves, into a corner, and I'm not happy about that.
yeah,
So when you do that, you have to rewrite, and that's expensive.
yeah, and time consuming, and it's got to be planned. And okay, now I'm spending more and more time over here. I'm taking time away from what I'm doing over here.
Yeah.
And there's a limited number of us in HHS core. There's extras that we work with a lot on the outside, but again, there's challenges there. We had somebody that was going to help out with a project that unfortunately, for whatever reason, isn't able to. So now I've got a 100+ hour project that I've now only got 40 hours worth accounted for. So guess who's going to have to step up and kick into that a lot more? I mean, there's other folks we can rely on to some degree, but I want to be very, very careful about that. So it's tough. It is what it is. And so I think, putting it out on a GoFundMe-esque type platform should give an injection that's like, all right, here's where we are, here's what we're doing, here's where we want to bring this, here's where we are on this, and just go for it and see what happens. I mean, I'm my own worst enemy as well, because we've also, we've got the watch, we're building the website for the watch with the website people. We're inventorying the watches. We're doing all this together. We got them all sorted out. So, and when we're kicking off the whorehouse at the same time. So, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, so you never have enough resources to do what you really want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so the resources you have, it's like a big chess game,
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
So you can't develop if you don't have sales, and I can't really sell if I don't have something developed. And so it's this, constant, like, up.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were profitable on Security Studio doing, we'll truck along at 50% growth year over year, which isn't bad.
Right.
But for a software as a service company with big goals and missions, that's not even close to where we need to be.
Mm-hmm.
So we spent a lot of money on sales, hired a sales team, maybe 5-6 guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they are all guys, believe it or not. And that puts us now at a cash burn of about 40 grand a month. So now we're losing 40 grand a month. And, that's okay. We'll have cash on hand. I mean, we have enough cash on hand that if we didn't get a single, one more sale, we'd be fine till June.
Right. But
And
that's
so,
the thing. Yeah, you just got to figure it out.
Yeah, and the contingency plan is, okay, well, if it's not working by then, you just cut the team.
Mm-hmm.
Which then, is essentially a layoff, the same shit I didn't
totally
do.
Yeah.
But I was pretty upfront about that with this team as we were building it. Like, look, you're going to have to produce, because I can only carry it for so long. and you'll know, right? You'll see the writing on the wall as we get closer to that date.
Yep.
You'll be like, oh shit, we're not going to make it, are we? I'm like, no, probably not.
Yep.
So, or yeah, we're killing it. You know, I mean, their goals are, they got some serious fucking goals, man. $50,000 additional monthly recurring revenue in January, I think, which is, that's pretty significant.
It is, but that's when everybody's budget's cut in.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of companies' budgets cut in. I mean, this is everybody getting rid of budget, and then next year new budgets start, which is when everybody's like, okay, I've done all my legwork now, so January should come, new stuff gets signed, and off we go from there.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I mean, that literally January, February timeframe should be one of those really, like, to me, that should be one of those heavy, like, hey, welcome to the new year. You got over your holiday hangover. Let's get this shit rolling. You know, we got 12 months to get this done. Let's not leave it till next December before we suddenly realize we're going to get all this done.
Right. Yeah, it's gonna, but it took 3 years to get to the point where we could, you know, do this thing. And then the strategy then is, if sales does work the way it's supposed to, now we'll have additional money to invest more into the platform, fix some of the things that, you know, I think, and none of the users see the shit, but you know, when you're the guy who architected it, you're like, oh man, come on.
Don't like how this works. I'm not sure about this. I want to do this. Yeah. Same thing with the Dave side of the world. I mean, the interface is really, really nice. I like what it does, but there's a lot of stuff I want to do differently.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll happen, you know, but it's going to take time and effort and money and all those other things. And off we go from there.
Yeah. Yeah. So the topic for tonight, and we're about a half an hour out, I think, now from Ryan getting here, so we can start, you know, maybe digging in a little bit. You posted last week, I think it was a week ago.
Yeah.
You know, something on LinkedIn about lies.
Yep.
You know, and there's nothing that irritates me more, I don't think, than a lie. You know what I mean? Tell me the truth. I'm a big man. I can handle it, you know, whatever. But and it's actually our number one core value at both FR Secure and Security Studio. And we live by our core values. Our core values aren't like, you know, some companies where, you know,
it's a core value. Right? It's a core value as long. I mean, yeah. As long as it fits in with what we feel like we're doing today.
And that stuff pisses me off too, right? You go through the work of these core values,
mm-hmm.
and then you don't live by them, which is a lie in and of itself, right? So
right.
Our number one core value is we tell the truth. And we hire and fire by our core values. There are 7 core values. That's number one. So if you lie to me, I mean, it doesn't matter how much I love you. It doesn't matter how much I like you. I have to let you go.
Yep.
And that's, you know, so it's really, really that important. And so when, you know, reading your post, you know, and the post for people, you know, who want to go find it, right? Just go to Chris's LinkedIn and, you know, look a week ago.
Oh, the lies we tell. I just found it sitting here. Yeah, the lies we tell.
Yeah, and you called out, because there's, you know, and people that have been in our industry, and probably people that haven't been in our industry, just kind of observe us and the stupid shit we do all the time. There are lots and lots and lots and lots of lies. Mm-hmm. All the fucking time.
Yeah.
And I get it, where people, you know, people can justify, you know, lies. They try to justify lies. You can't justify a fucking lie. You can't. It's a lie. I mean, it's that cut and dry. It's that, you know, binary.
Either justify it or excuse it. And I mean, we had this conversation offline, and one of my former organizations justified the lie because others lie. Therefore, in order to level the playing field, we have to lie as well. I mean, that was that was their argument, was everybody else is, therefore we should / have to / will are going to. And I'm just like, no, shit doesn't fly with me.
No, man, and I've always told, the team at FR Secure, the way to get a new customer, you just have to do three things, right? You have to establish trust, credibility, and you need to like me, right? So I can't be an asshole. There's no better way to destroy trust than to lie to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's so critical. I mean, that's the whole reason why we're here, right? People trust us to do what we can to protect them.
Right.
They, obviously you got to be credible, and we see a lot of that shit too. I posted something, I think yesterday or the day before, about, calling yourself an expert.
Oh my gosh, so much of that shit.
Right.
So much.
And I run into it all the time. And, where, I'll talk to a company and they'll tell me what they're doing. I'll say, well, why are you doing that? Well, because, our consultant or our advisor told us to do this. I'm like, oh, really? It's interesting.
Yeah.
There needs to be a better purpose, behind that. Did your advisor or whatever tell you the why behind why they were telling you to do that? I mean, because all this shit, I mean, if people really understand how security works, right? It's just like putting together a big jigsaw puzzle. Every piece on it fits together and it fits nicely. And this thing influences that thing. I mean, it's lots and lots of cause and effect.
It's also, I mean, to me, I was having this conversation last night, doing a virtual CISO-esque kind of advisory thing for a company that's building a product. And I'm brought in because my knowledge in implementing security in like an AWS architecture and various other things, and I know how to build it and I know how to break the shit. Mm-hmm. And I'm asking all the questions, all the awkward questions about it. And I go, why are you doing this? What about this? What about this? How about this? And then I end up stopping like halfway through. I'm like, hey, has anybody actually asked the business what their drivers are for this? And there was like silence. And I'm like, y'all have y'all actually talked with the business about why you're designing it this way? Silence. I'm like, how about we stop for a minute? How about we go back to the business and have a conversation with the business about what do they want?
Right.
And I'm like, oh God. Our experts said do it this way. Why? Well, because no. Just because an expert, who asked the business? Has anybody said to the business, where's your vision for the next 6, 12, 18, 24 months? Where do you want to take this? What are you going to do with this? I'm like, we're designing this shit in a fucking vacuum. Has anybody actually brought the business in to ask them business requirements document? I mean, fucking simple 101 shit. Mm-hmm. Well, no. Motherfuckers, I'll kill you.
Right. Yeah. Fundamentals, man. I mean, and people, complain, that have been around for a while. Why are we still doing the same shit, 30 years later? It's because you never did it. And that'll be my next, then I was going to, after, I don't know, I was supposed to do it this week, but I got tied up in other shit. But, I want to start kind of formalizing more how we're going to do shit shows,
Oh, yeah.
So I know you'd appreciate it. And I think, if we wanted to grow the viewers and mm-hmm. listeners, I think, let's plan out the next 4, 5, 6 shows.
I won't complain. You know that we've got the spreadsheet behind the scenes. That's, and I'm just as guilty. I haven't filled it in a while. We've all been a little fluid on how we do it. No, I would actually love to grow this because again, I had a conversation with somebody the other day today. Mm-hmm. I'm actually going to introduce her to you. In fact, probably a bunch of people on here. Awesome young lady. She's probably 20, 21, 22, just starting a podcast series.
Nice.
Totally awesome young lass. wants to start it and target it at whatever the generation it is, like Generation Z or whatever it is now.
Okay.
And just fantastic, just
Love it.
just cool. I'm just watching the ideas explode. And it was really, really nice. And ironically enough, she's like, hey, and I've seen you this and here and here and YouTube. I'm like, shit show. She's like, yes. And somebody else hit me up the other day. I felt horribly embarrassed. It was on live streaming, like, oh, security royalty. I'm like, oh, quit that shit. Quit that shit. Just me. But right. It was that, it was that, and it was the same thing. It was the shit show. And I'm like, it's hitting. It's, but the same thing you've said, same thing Ryan said. I would love it to hit more. I mean, I think there are so many people that have hit me up on various different forums that have said, hey, you are one of the few people that just says it is how it is. Mm-hmm. You're another one. Ryan's another. Ryan's nicer though. Ryan's way nicer than me. I mean, I always say that.
He's such a good-looking fella. I mean, come on.
He's also nicer.
Yeah.
I mean, he wants. I was talking to somebody up on I was yesterday or today, and about how do we solve this problem. I'm like, well, we can, and I referenced Ryan. I mean, we go the Ryan route, and I'm like, we can hug it out and we can figure it out. And I'm like, oh, fuck it, just kill him. Pile the bodies up until you can't get to the keyboard. At which point, people might pay attention. Like, well, that's a bit drastic. I'm like, give me another alternative. Give me something else that works. And so,
well, at least if you kill them too, I mean, that's one less person we got to help.
Yeah, I mean, I think the population of the planet. Somebody was saying in a lot of countries the population is starting to decline, but I mean, we're still at what 7.5, 7.6 billion or something. We can lose it.
Yeah, for sure. But that's the because I think my next show. And that's what I was thinking about, the planning thing. The next show that I'm going to do is, shit or get off the pot.
Ooh.
Because along these same lines, we try to give this, and this is lying too, by the way, because there's two different types of lies that are told. There's lies of commission and there's lies of omission. A lie of commission is when I flat out tell you a lie.
Right?
A lie of omission is when I didn't tell you something that I should have told you, or I left out specific details, which misled you.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Something that isn't true.
Yeah.
And rather than correct you. So, so if when I go to executive management and they're like, yeah, we're really secure. And I'm like, I don't say anything.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's definitely the omission. Yeah, rather than commission.
Right. And so that shit or get off the pot, I think a big reason why we're still spinning our wheels, God knows how much longer, accountability, we've talked about that before, but it's the shit or get off the pot that's half-assing it all the time. This like, yeah, we take security seriously. And when you don't even know what the fuck it is, you don't even know what security is. If I ask you for the definition of information security, you don't even give me a fucking definition that works.
Right.
So how can you take something seriously when you don't even know what the hell you're taking seriously?
I did a culling.
We got our sock too.
Oh yeah, no, I did a culling just before I went to the UK. I went through one of my grumpy modes, and I did a culling. I went through all of the open projects that we had open. You probably have the same thing. I have my spreadsheet. I mean, people use Salesforce. I got my spreadsheet. It's cheaper and to me more effective. Hey,
should I kick him out?
Culling, and while he's going on audio, I did a culling, and I went through, and I'm like, how many of these companies that I'm chasing actually care about security? And there was one of the ones that were like, oh yeah, we'll get around to it. Well, I'm done with you. And I actually said to them, I'm like, if you actually want to do something, I'll give you options. But I'm not one of them anymore.
Right.
Because I don't think you're taking it seriously. And I actually went through that with a couple of people. I'm done with fucking people that don't want to care.
I mean, and it's crazy how many people, it's like this charade everybody's playing, right? It's like, yeah, I take it seriously. And when you look in that, okay, you take it seriously. Tell me about, you talked about it, already, roles and responsibilities.
Yeah.
Does executive management have any clue what the fuck you're doing?
Right.
Do they buy into it? Are you aligned with the mission of the company? Are you aligned with what the CEO wants to do with this company?
Yeah.
If you can't answer those questions with like certainty, what the fuck are you doing?
Right.
So there's Ryan. What the fuck is he doing?
I'm assuming he's paying, or he's somewhere where he's, looks like he's in, I was going to say in a nightclub, and I might not be far off of it. It looks kind of cool wherever he is.
I told him to stay out of strip clubs, man.
I think it's falling on deaf ears. I'm telling you, you're going to get an invoice joining soon. You're going to get an invoice at some point in time for $101 bills.
Oh, son of a bitch. Expensive.
Business.
We were just talking about cash burn. That's where it's going, man.
That's where it is. It's all on the the entertainment expenses.
Yeah. Entertainment. Yeah. Business development.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Good grief.
Yeah, I wish more people in this industry would just flat out say it like it is.
Well, I mean, that was the logic for the post. That was the exact logic for that post, which was, it's the simple. I mean, to me, the biggest one, and I see it so often, the biggest one is, hey, the protection.
Oh,
We'll
yeah.
protect you. We will. We're here. We will. I don't even care about the 100%. It's we will protect you, and I'm like, no, we won't. We will do our best to.
Right.
We will do everything in our power to help you. We will educate you. We will train you. We will work with you. We will do everything we fucking can, as long as you're willing and you meet us halfway. We'll carry your fucking bags, but I still can't protect you.
No.
Shit's going to happen. I mean, I had another one of these conversations the other day with somebody. We were doing some interesting planning, shall we say, around drone avionics in over foreign territories, and the what if scenarios. And we were going through the whole, but it was the what ifs. What if it falls out of the sky and ends up where it maybe shouldn't? And how do we protect it? How do we do this? What can we do here? And it's interesting when it was the ability to actually effectively protect it weighs more than the entirety of the actual system it's carrying. I'm like, you want to do this, you got to do this and this, and I mean, and the controls and they're like, well, why? I'm like, because you told me you need it to be and we're going through this. And they're like, okay, well, we can't do this. I'm like, well, then we dial it back. What risk are you willing to accept?
Right.
That's all it is. It's a risk conversation. You get up in the morning, it's a risk. You go to the bathroom, you walk into the bathroom, it's a risk. You put trousers on, it's a risk. You drive the fucking car. This is always the one that gets me. I've thought about this a number of times when I've been driving. Oh, you are an absolute freaking angel. Yeah, it is hot. Thank you so much. You're awesome. Driving a car. I've thought about this a number of times while I've been driving. What if you don't get my cup of tea? What if this was my last drive? What if I die on this drive? What if, nobody plans to go out for 99.999% of people don't plan to go out for a drive and it be their last moment. But think about all the accidents that happen on the road. Think about you're driving along and somebody veers into you. You're driving along and you get a blowout and you're doing a little bit too fast, or any one of 100 different options there. Right. Just because you didn't fucking plan for it doesn't mean it ain't going to happen.
Absolutely, man. And information security, to your point, it is risk management, right? And I study the fuck out of risk all the time, and that's why the whole COVID thing threw me all kinds of fucked up, because, risk isn't just likelihood, it's likelihood and impact, right? So the likelihood of getting something or having something or doing something or some bad event happening, combine that with the impact if that bad thing happens, right? So when I drive, I obey the street laws. You know, I mean, I
Yeah.
come up to a yellow light, I do a quick risk assessment, like what the
Yeah.
fuck's going this way? How the fuck fast am I going? What does the road look like? Is it wet? Is it
Yeah.
icy? Are there any cops around me? Is there somebody behind me? You know,
Yeah.
you do that risk assessment, you do it so damn fast, you're like, all right, fuck it, I'm going for it. I'm gonna
Yeah.
accept this risk.
Yeah.
You know, but and it's the same kind of, I mean, risk is risk too. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're talking information security risk, if you're talking about financial risk, or you're talking about reputational risk, or you're talking about the risk of dying. Risk is risk. Bad event, bad outcome. You know,
Yeah.
math it.
And then you go, actually, so here's the irony of the whole thing. I realized when I was traveling over to the UK, again, it's aviation to me. Let's face it, I know what the worst possible outcomes can be. I was going through the what if scenario, which I've done enough. You've probably done the same thing. You're getting onto a plane, you're like, what happens if this plane doesn't actually land? Where have I left everything?
Right.
And I realized that in certain things, I hadn't left everything neatly. I ended up basically, I've always had like a USB drive that has the core user accounts, passwords, and all sorts of other shit on it. I'm like, I haven't updated for a while. And I also, it itself isn't well protected. So I end up one of these, a good old data shores. So good old data shore, got a good old set of keypads on it. It's crypto and everything else. Dumped the entire password list on it, dumped everything else on it, dumped a whole bunch of files on it and everything else. It's there. Done. And so that'll keep getting updated. And that's that risk assessment.
Right.
No different than companies should do. What happens if tomorrow morning I walk in, or I can't walk in, the fucking building's burned down? Where's my backups? How do I run payroll? How do I know who owes me money?
Right.
How do I know? I don't give a shit whether they've been ransomware or not. Fucking burn the building down. If you can't imagine ransomware, imagine the fact I torched your building. Right. And maybe it's more real. Same consequences. What do you do? How do you still pay people? How do you still employ people? How do you still keep things going? It's the same thing I went through with the drive. It's one of those, I'm like, shit. I realized that personally, the last time I'd actually hived off like accounts and stuff was probably about a year and probably 2 years ago. I'm like, shit, it's, I mean, everything of mine's backed up almost on a constant basis, but I'm the only one who knows the codes to get to it. And so I know I changed them and other things and everything else. I'm like, shit, I need to make sure that I have a backup of life. So did that.
No,
so yeah.
Yeah, I do the same thing. And actually, I was just talking with Marlis about that too. You know where to go, right? You know what to do if I'm gone, right? If I'm sitting at the computer and cack over with a heart attack, you know the plan, right? We've been over it.
Yeah.
You know where to get things, you know where I put things, you know, you'll be fine.
Well, that was the thing. So the interesting part on that drive is no one person has access to it. So it actually takes two people. Jen knows where it is. Jesse actually knows the account number, the account to get into it. And it's for two reasons. I mean, one, if anything happens, or even if I'm away and somebody tries to coerce, then they've got to coerce two people, and both of them are very able and capable of looking after themselves.
Right.
So a little bit of separation on that kind of stuff, because obviously, again, this computer's got confidential information on it. There's a bunch of shit on there for government stuff, all that kind of good stuff. So I need to make sure there's at least some level of this that goes with it. But yeah, it's it's the same thing. It was that whole what if scenario.
Right.
And again, back to those lies we tell ourselves, oh, everything will be okay. Let me run through that scenario in my head for a minute. I get in the car tomorrow, somebody stuffs into me, or I stuff into the back of somebody, and I'm done. Let me run through that what if scenario. No shit, it won't actually be okay. Rather than lying to myself and telling myself it will be okay, spend a couple of fucking hours making sure it is going to be okay.
Right. Yeah. No, absolutely, man. Absolutely. And, and so there's the lies, I think, that we tell ourselves, the companies who actually think, because you talk to some CEOs and you'll talk to some CISOs and they actually think they're doing the right shit.
Yeah.
And then you start pointing out some real basic things, and they're like, yeah, no. Like, so you thought the SOC 2 was really all you're going to need? You thought maybe their ISO certification was, like, that's it? I mean,
But we've told people that. That's the other problem I have with us. We've told people, hey, get a SOC 2, you're in good, get PCI. Oh hell, I mean, you want to go for the best of the best. I mean, you get PCI, we're in good. No, hell, if that was the case, every motherfucking retailer would be perfect. But
right.
last I checked, they were still getting their asses handed to them, every single freaking day. So no, I think, and again, our problem is it feels like we've perpetuated that lie. I think I called it out in here. Where is it? Yeah, there we go. Number 11. I passed the audit. I'm secure.
Right.
It just, I called out, and there's more. I think there were some fantastic ones that other people commented on in the post. And I mean, that post hit almost 50,000 views on it, which was actually kind of cool.
It was last Saturday. I had coffee with a friend of mine. He's an executive. I think he's an executive at hi, come here. Say hi.
Oh, love Mott. Cute.
Girl.
Cute.
Yeah. What the fuck? Arctic Wolf.
Mm-hmm. I think I growled about them.
Oh, I've growled about them too, man. Some of their marketing material, like
they sent me something.
And cyber risk.
That was the one. I'm pretty sure I might have sent it to you. I'd have to go back and look at the thing, but I'm pretty sure I got some of that shit. Like, yeah, I'm like, you motherfuckers. Oh no, I know what it fucking was. I got a phone call from one of their fucking sales reps.
No shit.
Yeah, I got a phone call from one of their damn sales reps trying to sell me something. And I will be very upfront. I did play a little bit of the prima donna card. I'm like, oh, cool. Yeah, I know you guys. Oh, you do? Yeah. I'm like, did you do your research on me? Well, no, did I? I'm like, do you know who I am? Wow, blah, 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 I know you run this company and, blah, blah, and we're doing all of this. And I'm like, do you know who I'm friends with? No, well, I'm like, do you know my attitude to people calling me out of the blue without blah, 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 blah. You might want to go do some fucking research. Yeah, I did play the prima donna card for a second on that one.
That's awesome, man. Well, so it had been a while since I'd had coffee with him. That end cyber risk tagline thing, or whatever the fuck you want to call it.
Yeah.
That came out in between the last time I had coffee with him and this time.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, I had dinner a couple times with Brian Neesmith. He's the CEO of Arctic. He used to run Blue Coat back in the day. And then he sold that off and then started Arctic Wolf. But anyway, so we were sitting there talking, and I said, man, I'd be remiss if I didn't bring this up. Tell me about this end cyber risk thing. He goes, oh yeah, that's a point of contention internally at Arctic Wolf. I'm like, why is that? He goes, well, you know why. And I go, so why the fuck did you choose it? It's impossible. And he's like, well, what about your mission? Which I always love when it's like, well, what about you? What about
exactly. Yeah. I want to deflect away from me. And what about you? Yeah.
Right. I said, what about my mission? He goes, to fix the broken industry. And I go, yeah, I'm fucking working my ass off on it every time. I think that's possible. I think let's define what fix is, because I'll tell you, I've obsessed about it for the last 20 fucking years. I can tell you what it is. It's us speaking the same language. It's us, understanding that information security is about risk management. And we have some agreement amongst ourselves on how we're going to manage risk. We make information security a life skill. People understand that your security is not my fucking problem. It's your fucking problem. So step up to the plate.
Yeah.
It's these things where we have to institute, accountability. So yeah, I do think my goal is, or my mission is attainable. And I, not just that, but I think it's almost a certainty, because if you don't do it, it's going to be done for you.
Yeah.
And that's what we've talked about before, right? Half the people die because they didn't fucking get their shit together.
Yep.
It's a lot less painful if you just learn it and just fucking do it.
Simple stuff. I think it's, to me as well, I mean, you've had it. To me, it's the integrity that that feels, and I think we've lost it in the chase of the almighty dollar.
Mm-hmm.
I think, I was actually having a really good conversation with Esty, the young lady I was talking about earlier. And we talked about it. I'm like, imagine this, 4 companies. Each one of those companies is, let's say they're an endpoint. Each one of those companies just took investor money. The very first company goes out and says, hey, we got a pretty good product. The second company's like, shit, we got to do better than that because we need to take market share. The third company realizes they have to do better than the first 2 because they need to take market share because they've got to pay back their investors. The fourth company's like, well, fuck it. We got quantum endpoint encryption entanglement beyond the wazoo, and nobody can get through our shit no matter what you've got. We detect 99.999% of everything. And I'm like, and that's what you end up with, because the almighty dollar or the almighty drachma or whatever currency you want to go after, and we've got investment money, so we have to pay them back at God only knows, and then the X multiplier that it's going to have to be. And I don't care about protecting you. I just care about getting market share, and I care about doing this. And eventually I'm going to sell the company, so somebody else is going to fix it. And she's like, wow. She's like, cynical, but that's reality. I'm like, exactly. And that's the problem. If all 4 companies, number one, if all 4 of you have got a fucking good idea, why aren't you working for the same? Why didn't you collaborate and work for the same damn company?
Right.
First and foremost, and that way, I know the consumers now only got to pick one, and it's one with the 4 best brains. For hell yeah. But number 2, if all 4 of you go, hey, we're actually pretty good shape, then at least then the consumer has a level playing field to judge themselves from. Then, then it's relationships. Then it's a matter of which one of those 4 sales individuals is going to build a better relationship.
Right. Well, and to make matters worse, it's not just companies, the government is in this game also. So if you're like, well, I'll go run to the government because the government's supposed to, manage these things. No, the government's in the game, man. I mean, look at JCDC. JCDC is a fucking racket.
Oh my God, yeah, don't even. I mean, well, again, okay, even before you get to JCDC, you then start looking at the compliance, the regulations, the audit, and this is, it sucks in some ways. The United States is 4% of the global population, yet it leads a lot of the way that we do things,
right?
Which sucks because it isn't the United States. You've got New Hampshire's got a privacy policy, California's got one, New York's got one, Colorado's. All the motherfuckers are completely different. I'm like, y'all can just put it together and do one motherfucking policy. And oh no, we don't want to do that because Governor so and so wants to put their name on a policy for people. Oh, fuck you.
Yeah, I mean it's nuts, man. When you lay out, because I've been this week, I've reached out to a couple of nonprofits that are pretty powerful in our industry.
Yeah, and
I'm like, let's collaborate. Let's, because some organizations are doing your shit, some organizations are doing my shit. Some, let's bring it together.
Right.
I can expose an API. You can have all the fucking data, give it back so that the person that we're serving, if they do your shit or my shit, it's the same shit, as opposed to, well, they did your shit, but then they heard from somebody else that they got to do our shit. And we're just fucking wasting time, and they're not reading any of it.
Well, and then you've got, now as a company, now as that entity, I have to adhere to CISSA, FERC, NUG, state legislators in every state I work with, and I got to do this, which means now my overheads have gone up. Now the people that are running security are doing nothing more than shuffling paperwork 90% of the time, which probably means they're not doing it properly because motherfucking shit's a pain in the ass to deal with, and none of us like dealing with paperwork, or 99.9% of us don't like dealing with paperwork. And all of a sudden it's getting half-assed, and then off we go from there. And it's just like, so we're self-perpetuating. Oh, and by the way, because you need to adhere to this, you can only buy this type of software from these people.
Right.
It's I don't know. It's a burn the house down and start again mentality in some ways, but I don't even know if that. I mean, if we could do that and actually learn from some of these issues, I'd be a very, very happy bunny rabbit. But too many people have got too much money invested into this.
Well, that's it, man. And you bring it back to, the root cause, right? It's they say the love of money is the root of all evil. I mean, that's like supposed to be the truth. So then it kind of makes sense. I'm seeing that shit play out right in front of me, where I can give you a solution, crystal clear solution. It's obvious, right? Problem, solution. Not only is it, you don't even have to take my word for it, right? It's not a subjective opinion. It's math. It's proven. And yet you won't do it for whatever reason, or somebody, or you won't collaborate or whatever. And you hit the nail on the head, man. It's because of the money. I have to protect my turf.
Yeah.
And so I've been telling people, I'm like, do you realize that, like, of the organization, take companies, for instance, all the companies in the United States, take them all. What percentage of those companies do you think are actually doing something formal around information security? And I'm guessing it's less than 20%. So what we're doing as, these companies is we're all fighting over this fucking 20%. Meanwhile, the 80% is just sitting there to get, butchered. I mean, we don't give a shit about them. Right. So let's stop fucking, if you want more money, let's go get the 80% together.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. There we go. Together. Yeah. I think this is, you've talked about mission over money. To me, the emphasis of this is exactly what we're talking about. It's profit before protection.
Right.
And that's, I talked about that the other day. I was talking to somebody the other day, and they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, it's profit before protection. I'll make money at the expense of protecting you, basically, whether you like it or not. I'll tell you, but it's going to be the expense of it.
Which is such a fucking racket too, man, because I hire a consultant because I want them to help me. Yet the consultant has put their best interests ahead of yours.
Yeah.
So they're not really there to help you. They're actually there to help themselves.
Oh yeah, totally.
And fuck you. Where's my, $200, $300, $400, $500 an hour? Thank you very much. It's nuts, man. And that's all shit that, when you pull back the covers, that's all, what part of our industry isn't a lie?
Ooh, that's an interesting one. Ooh.
It's all just great. To me, it just seems like we're all fooling ourselves, spending shitloads of money thinking, oh yeah, we're making a difference. We're getting better. It's like, no,
there aren't many. There aren't many. I've spent since I got back from the UK, I've gone after two companies deliberately because I'm getting fed up of getting the bullshit from them. One of them was Safe Breach.
Just that name doesn't.
Well, no, and then fucking Help Systems. Safe Breach and Help.
They're in Minnesota. I can go talk to them.
Do me a favor, throw a Molotov cocktail through the front window with my name on it. I took them to task because two things. One, because they spam emailed me. And secondly, the only way, so they're like, hey, have a read through our most popular guides. So first and foremost, you spammed me. So you know who I am and you spammed me. Then you say, hey, now we spammed you. We might actually give you something. Have a read through our most popular guides. You click on the fucking guide. What does it want you to do? It wants you to register and give the information that you already, and you motherfuckers. I'm like, I hate you for two reasons now. So I took them to task. And again, I don't, if okay, let me look. Okay, so let's try this one. Let's go through some of the lies. So
yeah, let's do it. So number
yeah,
one, start on the top.
I'm looking for the emphasis. I'm actually looking. I want to see who's not who's not lying. Maybe who's lying the least. The we can protect you. I see so many companies out there use the word protect and use it as an absolute. I don't mind if you like, hey, we will work on protecting you. We will do. I've got no problem with that. Mm-hmm. I do have a problem like with the absolutes. And I'm trying to think, there's not many companies that don't promise to do that.
Well, and it's weird too, man, because we have misused words so much everywhere, not just in our industry, but everywhere, that what does protect mean to you? To some people, I think they actually believe that protect means, prevent, detect, response. Yeah. They think it means the entire thing. And if that's the case, I think we can come pretty close to 99%, because what I can't prevent, I should be able to detect. If it's not now, eventually I'm going to detect it because my bank account's fucking drained or something. And then what's my response going to be, right? So if that's the protect definition you're using, all right, I can buy that one. But if the protect one is like, make sure nothing bad happens.
Yeah, that's how we're using it.
Oh, sorry. I know. That's the shitty thing, is that we fucking steal words, man.
Yeah. You telling me you can protect me in the physical world. If you tell me you can protect me, that means you will make sure that no harm comes to me.
Right.
Now, having done bullet shield duties, I will never agree to that. I will turn around and say, I will do my level best. However, short of putting you blah, 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 that shit ain't going to happen. We will do our best to understand, mitigate risk, reduce risk, get in the way of bullets, all that stupid shit. But, again, they're getting a protection that, well, hell, let's go to the racketeering world where we might also reside as well. Protection money.
Right.
You pay me money to make sure you don't get broken into. Last I checked, that was racketeering.
Right. Or worse yet, you pay me to protect you, or you pay me to protect the software that I sold you. You know what I mean? It's like, but then if you don't patch it, if you don't take care of my software that I sold you, then it's on you. It's like, what the fuck? Won't you?
When you break it down like that, it ain't pretty. I mean, seriously, if we weren't, I'm surprised the feds haven't investigated our industry. It's a fucking mob.
Well, I think, going back, man, I think they're in on it, man.
I can't disagree with you, unfortunately. So, okay, let's take the next one. Technology. And there are some companies that don't rely on technology. So, I look at Gabrielle and the Wiser Training. They're not a technology will save us company. They are definitely a human-centric company. Chris Hagnati and the crew that he has. Mm-hmm. And there's a couple of other companies out there that actually believe in the human as opposed to the technology. So we might get a bit of a hall pass on that one.
I think it's a straight up lie, because you can't fix people with technology.
No, you can't. But not everybody in our industry says that technology will fix it. And not everybody in our industry is pointing technology at it. This third one we're fucked on. Endpoint will solve the problem. We have thrown so much money.
Oh my God, right?
At endpoint protection, that your average fucking i9 64 gig Pentium Pro runs like a fucking 486 from the 80s.
Yeah, endpoint, man. And that started with FireEye started that one for us. I think they were kind of the pioneer that kind of led the way.
Oh, assholes.
Yeah. So now you got what? FireEye, Sentinel-1. I mean, everybody's got a fucking endpoint protection.
Everybody. I mean, the McAfee's, the Semantics, the Carbons. Every one of those motherfuckers has got an endpoint agent. Deception technology half of fucking deception technologies. Oh, we'll put an endpoint. Fuck off. I can detect it. No, we hide ours. Yeah, no, you don't.
Right. And I remember when there's certain things that are said, over the course of your career that you just never forget. You're like, fuck. And it was when Kevin Mandia said, well, I guess, yeah, if you had a properly configured firewall, it would have stopped the SolarWinds attack, but that's operationally cumbersome. I'm like, something the way it's supposed to be used, fundamental, a basic is operationally cumbersome. So buy my fucking endpoint shit.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I know. Hate people. All right. So the next one, we will deploy in minutes. I mean,
okay, SAP.
Yeah. Not 5 years and $20 million later. Oh my God. I mean, talk about, isn't that one of those, that's that. I mean, that's a terrible one. I mean, how many times have we sat in meetings when an organization's, oh yes, we deploy in minutes, seamlessly deploy in minutes. I'm like, yeah, good luck on that in this environment. I just want to see how this train wreck goes. I vote for them.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, deploy in minutes and work.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Oh no, you didn't say anything about, well, we can deploy it in minutes. We'll use your infrastructure to deploy it through your stuff that you've already put in place, that you can deploy stuff. But no, don't ask it to work. And we can deploy the shit.
Right.
You want it to work as well. Well, now that's another conversation we need to have, sir.
Exactly. Yeah, it's installed. Look, it's right there.
Yeah, there we go. It's installed. Doesn't do any shit, but it's installed. Motherfucker.
Yeah, thinking that install means deployed. No, deployed means like it fucking works.
Yeah. And maybe that is what it is. It will deploy in minutes. There we go. I mean, they might be right. It probably could fucking deploy in minutes. Just don't ask it to do anything.
Yeah, man. Well, and that's a huge selling point for people, because everybody's always been looking for the easy button. Just give me the easy button,
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah.
I don't want to actually have to fucking work. I mean, gosh, that's like, I don't get paid enough for working.
Yeah. Well, and that's that next one. It won't take any more resources.
Oh God.
Yeah, not only will it deploy in minutes, my unicorn solution won't actually take any more time of yours. Again,
invisible process
work. Yeah. Oh dear. 24/7/365 support. I love that one. That's the other one. Unless you're paying millions and maybe Microsoft will give you an actual telephone number. Good luck. You're going to be on hold on the call center from hell for the next, God knows how many weeks.
There's like no big company anywhere that you can call and get somebody without sitting on the phone for fucking ever, maybe.
Yeah. Unless you've spent stupid money with them.
Right. Which nobody's got, man. So, I mean, good luck trying to call Amazon. Good luck trying to call Google. Good luck trying to call AWS. Good luck trying to call Microsoft. Good luck trying to call, half the shit you got running on your computer right now. You ain't getting no support for that shit. Patrick.
That is the upside. So the one upside of LinkedIn and being fortunate enough to have a bunch of connections is that I can sometimes put a message out to somebody and say, hey, I got a favor to ask. I will pay in kindness or alcohol. Take your pick.
Yeah, I applied for a new credit card. What the fuck is it? Southwest. I want a new Southwest card because they're going to give me like 80,000 free miles and shit like that. And I'm making these trips down to Mexico. I'm like, I want the miles.
Yeah.
So I applied for it. Well, I think it turns out I fat fingered my social security number. And so when that happens, I guess the rule is now that the IRS automatically treats it like it's fraud, like I was trying to defraud Chase Bank. So they sent me a letter because I didn't see anything. I was like, I should be instantly approved or something. I mean, where the fuck?
Yeah.
I didn't get anything. So So I'm like, well, maybe I just fucked it. I'll get one. I'll get it later or something. So then I got an email. I got a letter in the mail that said, hey, you need to call us immediately. So I'm like, okay. So I called and I was on hold for like 50 minutes,
Ugh.
super long time. And then the
Yeah.
guy gets on, he's like, yeah, you need to confirm this, confirm that, confirm this. He goes, yeah, that's not the social security number you gave us. I'm like, all right, well, I'm giving it to you now. Why don't you just update the shit? He goes, well, because you have to fill out this IRS form because there's a $50 fine associated with you giving us the wrong social security number.
What?
Yeah. And I'm like, really? Yeah. I'm like, now this is a call center guy. So I'm not going to go off on him because it means the guy
Yeah, he's called.
trying to
Yeah,
make a living. And I'm like, man, that's bullshit. He's like, what do you do for a living? And I go, well, information security. He goes, oh, you're a hacker. I'm like, yeah, but whatever. And then he like instantly like gave me so much more respect on the phone. He's like, okay, sir. So, I understand, whatever. But anyway, so I got this form, I filled it out, I faxed it back,
fax.
yeah, you have to fax it back, or you could
bless them.
mail it back, but it's 14 days. You can't do any of this electronically.
Yeah, no, it's
I mean, if we wanted to be efficient, I could have fucking fixed this in like, a couple
about
of
10
seconds.
seconds, maybe. Yeah.
But remind me that 24/7, 365 support. Yeah, I got through to Chase eventually, but it was an hour.
Oh,
An hour I'm never getting back.
yeah, no, God, no. Yeah, God forbids you ever. That is the one thing that annoys the hell out of me. You sat on hold for a while. Oh, so we're going to transfer you, and then it just drops, and you're like, and you just want to throw the fucking phone against the wall. Somebody needs to die somewhere for that shit.
Well, the older I get too, man, time means a lot more to me. I can make more money. You know what I mean? I can't make more time. This is, I'm coming, we're all getting closer to the end.
Yep.
And, to your point, the end could come tonight.
Oh, yeah. And that's, yeah, totally. All right. Number 7. This is the one this is another one of the ones. We don't have enough people in the industry. So that's another, that to me is another one of those. That's what's that second one? Not an omission lie. The whatchamacallit one did you call it?
The what?
There was the full lie and then there was the half a lie.
Oh, so lie of commission and omission.
Omission. To me, I think this is an omission one. Mm-hmm. Because I would argue there are enough people bashing on the doors for this industry that if we maybe took a different approach and brought people in as apprentices and actually trained people and took the time to train people and didn't look for CISSPs walking through the door and I think we would have so many fucking people in this industry with such a diverse mindset that we would actually be able to fix, I don't know, a lot of things.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Did I ever show you, so I created a certification program. I was working on the one for the Certified Virtual Chief Information Security Officer.
Yeah. We talked about that one a while ago. Yep.
Yeah, because I'm really tired of a bunch of VCSOs running around calling themselves VCSOs, stealing money from.
I have no fucking clue what the hell they're actually meant to be doing.
Right. Yeah. You're getting paid.
I actually wouldn't mind running through that program. I've got to be honest, because I mean that's the shit I do. I'll do, and if stuff I can learn, I'm totally up for it.
One, and me too, man. I mean, you just throw something out there, right? You take all the experience that I have, all the things that I've learned, you put it in the thing. That doesn't mean it's right. It's just what but when you have people like you go through it, or you have other people, and it starts to morph. And eventually, I was telling John Harmon, eventually I'm going to move this into, I've got 2 things already that I'm going to be moving into gray matter.
Yeah.
One, it'll be the CISSP mentor program, and the other one will be this program. Because I do want it to be nonprofit. I don't want money to fuck this up.
Right.
I'm tired of money fucking shit up, man. Because the way we structured that, that nonprofit, you're not going to fuck it. You can't fuck it up.
Right. Exactly.
I got to find this thing. I'm going to show it to you.
All right. Well, you find that one. Yeah. You find that one. I'll hit the next one.
But the thing about the CVCISO program, to your point though, about not having enough people,
Yeah.
I'm gonna share it on the screen real quick.
Oh, go for it.
Because I want you to see advanced sharing options. I got advanced sharing options now. When the fuck did I get that? I didn't even understand the basic sharing options. Now I got advanced ones.
Oh yeah, what is that? Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Portions of screen, all sorts of crazy shit. Oh, there we go.
See, this is draft, right? But this is the program. It's a pretty long page. So I didn't want to create there are two problems that I want to solve with this. One, if we don't have enough, because I do agree we don't have enough actually working in the industry. It's not that we don't have enough people, period. And I think the second thing is we don't have enough quality people. So I created BCISO levels. So here's, problem statement number 1. Here's problem statement number 2. But this is how you progress through the program. So you can be a certified BCISO with 0 experience. If you pass the test, if you go through the course, you pass the test, you are now a CVCISO level 1. So level 1 gives you certain, things that you can do and other things you can't do. So a level 1, this just kind of no additional experience requirements for level 1. However, some of the restrictions on the things that you can perform, you have to work with a mentor.
Right.
So a CVCISO mentor. So this would be ideal for people, for companies or organizations like MSPs. CVCISO are going to grow their practice.
Yeah.
Hire people with 0 experience. They're cheap. Put them through the program, develop them, right?
Well, this is also the other thing on this one as well. I mean, you've got so many people like, hey, how do I look at management careers? Well, run through some of this stuff and go, hey, this is something I like. This is something I don't like. This is something I want. This is some, and then like, no, I'm not sure about that.
Right. And so when you progress, when you finally do get enough experience at level 1 to become level 2, and it takes a while, right? 1 year at least. And this is again draft, so numbers are going to change. You have to have this level of experience. Now you can work on level 2.
Right.
And at level 2, you can do small companies, not complex, up to 100 employees.
Yeah.
And then, after a while, you can progress to level 3. Now, level 3 is essentially the same experiential requirements as like a CISSP, except for you have to have a little bit more. You have to have some BCISO experience, and then you have some additional training. You have to go through this class, complex environments, communications, and budget justification.
So that's interesting.
If you want to move into level 3, you have to learn that shit. So anyway, I thought I'd share that. I'll send you a copy of it, man. But when you were talking about not enough people, I want to meet people where they're at. You don't have to have any experience. Let me show you the way, into this fucking thing.
Well, and it gives you a taster. There are so many people like, hey, I'm enjoying the tech track. Do I want to go into management? I don't know. Do you? I can't answer that for you. Go run through this. And then you can go, hey, I actually don't mind doing the budget shit. I actually don't mind. Or they can be like, oh, hell no. Let me work towards my fellowship level for technology.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you brought up that line, I was like, oh man, I got to show you that quick because I meant to show that to you before. That's
totally awesome. Hey, just a heads up, Ryan is on, but he's on a friend's phone. He's in an Uber. He's on the Chatters Knock 1 and Knock. Oh, Knock 1.
Ryan's gonna get his shit together.
Apparently his phone died, so Ryan's ability to actually interface with he's a fucking Android, isn't he? He's on an Android. You pain in the ass. Get off a fucking Android and go get a proper operating system on your mobile communications. And then
doesn't Android have one of those things that you can like wind it up?
You probably left that at home.
No.
Screwdriver will do it. It's like a little screw, or actually, rub it up against the shoulder.
Or just shake it.
Kinetic, yes.
You get those real tight, triceps.
Kahok one. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, Kahok 1. Kahok 1? K-Hok 1. Kahok 1. Knock 1. Croc 1.
Who knows,
who
man?
Knows? Yeah, who knows? God only knows.
All right, that was line number 7. Let's go on to 8.
Yeah. All right, number 8. Certificates. thou shalt have a certificate or thou shalt not pass the threshold of information security. Oh, motherfuckers.
That and a degree, right? Don't you have to have a degree?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I didn't even go down that fucking rabbit hole. But yeah, degree. I went certificates because that was the one that just annoys me. But yeah, degree. I have seen
A master's degree, probably a PhD, maybe.
No, I don't think iPhone got breached. Oh, bite me. iPhone did not get breached. You don't have an iPhone.
My iPhone's working fine, man.
Yeah, no shit. Apple occasionally works fine. No, I've actually seen a couple of adverts now for degree or relevant experience. So I'm okay with that. I can deal with that because that's like, okay, if I don't have a degree, then basically it's up to me to say, hey, here's the experience I have that would equate to such a thing.
Right.
I'm okay with that. I can deal with that. I can deal with that as a compromise. Let's put it that way.
We're trying to do something on that point too. Did I ever show you Teach?
We talked about it.
Yeah, I'll send that document too. I actually have another school that wants to sign up for that.
Nice.
We're trying to solve that problem of giving college grads, because I was talking to a few. I won't really hire a college grad, with a cybersecurity degree, because one, you're commanding more money than the value you can provide to the company. You don't have any practical experience. I have to train you almost like a high schooler anyway. So why would I pay a premium for that?
We did the thing down at Pima, which was fantastic. I'm doing something similar with a Arapaho community college here in town, so helping to work with them and go through their courses and a whole bunch of other stuff. So that's going to be kind of cool. To me, that's awesome, because I mean, it's a community college. Everybody gets to go hang out there, and to me, that's like one of those like, hey, why the hell wouldn't you do that?
Yeah, so, Matt, I think Matt's online. Matt Goodacre.
Yeah,
I think he mentioned yesterday when I was talking to him that he's being asked to, I think, advise for University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee.
Oh, nice. Oh, that's fantastic. That's totally cool.
I think that'll be really helpful too.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, certificates. I think that's another one that's just, somebody said it. In fact, I've seen it in a couple of places now. The adversaries don't have a CISSP. So I've seen it a few times. We almost need that as a sticker. That actually needs to be a sticker.
Well, okay, so that's another thing we need to work on. Me, you, and Ryan we'll have to set aside a time and start divvying out some things just to formalize this, the shit show more. Because I also want to expand our store, man. I mean, we come up with really cool like sticker ideas and shit like that as we're talking, and it's like, let's put that shit out there and make it available to people.
Yeah.
And then we'll give all profits 100% to ILF or mental health hackers or whatever.
Pick a different one every month. I mean, to me, it's really fun. Pick a different one every month. Go through, because there's a few good ones that are out there, and I think it'd be nice to actually donate the money across a couple of the good ones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So I got these certs. Whatever.
It's expensive to implement good security practices. Another one of those amazing lies that we managed to throw out there.
That's why is that why all that, whenever I ask, hey, what's the current state of security in your company, or what's the current state of security in your state, and they always come back, well, last year we spent $20 million on security. It's like, right. So you just pissed away $20 million and you got a shitty security program.
Yeah. I think that's it. More money does not equate to more security. And I wonder if that's, again, you talk about stickers, we need the money does not equal security. Do we have a symbol for security? I don't think we do.
It's this.
Yeah, but it's another one of those short ones that basically, more money does not. And I think there's so many alternatives out. I was talking to somebody, I think it was talking to the podcast folks earlier on today, and we were going through the conversation of, you can go buy some really expensive tools. I mean, there's some amazing tools out there that you'll spend 5, 10, 15, 20, 25,000 for a license for one computer. Or you can go out to the community and go, hey, what do you all got? Or go buy Burp Suite. It's $400, whatever it is these days. It's got 90% of what you need. And if that doesn't do it, then there's all the add-ons to the browsers that are free that give you all the other equations for that stuff as well. You know, you want to do app scanning and app assessment, 90% of what you can do is going to be out there and available. And you might be out of pocket a few hours of time and maybe a couple of $100.
Yeah, I mean, the open source community is so vibrant, you know, especially when it comes to security tools. You know, we did Ryan and I do this Security Simplified podcast every Wednesday night, I think, and we did the Nmap one, and man, it brought back memories because Nmap's my jam, man. I've been using that forever.
Yeah.
And it's so versatile. There's so many things I can do with that. So we were talking about how I could use that, you know, to build an asset inventory, you know, all the things that are on my network. I mean, you can do so many cool scripting things with it. And then, you know, so it doesn't cost. I mean, you could run a flipping amazing security program and your only overhead would be the people. You're going to need to have some team player, you know, some players doing some things, but you don't, I would say you don't need to spend next to anything on security tools.
Yeah, I mean, at most it's compute. That's it. It's like, okay, you need to go buy a couple of decent systems to be able to run this stuff on, and that's it. That really is it. To your point, I mean, that's and you just, it's putting the time and effort in. I think that's a big part of it. Put the time and effort in.
You mean I got to work?
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I can't just push a button.
I like fucking hanging out, man, and pushing buttons and shit. Now you're telling me I got to learn how this fucking thing works?
Yeah, I think that's that to me. I think that's, I wonder if that's a big part of it. Again, you know, you and I and others come from the era of, we didn't have buttons to push. If you wanted to actually do something, you had to fucking code it, or you had to get hold of the source code, figure out how it worked and compile it for your system, blah, 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 blah. This day and age, people were like, well, hang on, I want a GUI interface to run with this, and I just want to push a button.
Right. Yeah, and there's nothing can substitute for good old-fashioned hard work, man. I mean, it doesn't matter. Even if you had the button, well, then push the button and go find something else to do.
Right.
There's always shit to do. You know, so lazy, that's another thing I hate. I hate lazy.
Yeah.
Especially if you get paid like you know, some of us get paid. Come on, really?
Apparently K-Hawk Knock 1 is now losing the phone. We'll join again shortly.
Yeah, I've heard that before. He's 37 minutes late.
Oh, bless him. Oh, yeah, he said he would be here in an hour, didn't he? Oh, we got to give him shit for that. I didn't even think about that one. He's going to be here in just the right time to say goodbye.
Yeah, and I have to pee like a racehorse, but I'm not going to pee yet because
you won't pee like a racehorse. I'll keep everybody amused for a couple of minutes. We're in good shape.
No, I'm good.
As long as
I don't move.
Cough. All right, so let's hit the next one. All right. The next lie that we managed to do on this industry is, I need a pen test. That's yeah.
I mean, come on, who the fuck doesn't?
I know. Apparently every man, woman, child, beast, and everything in between has to have a pen test. It
doesn't help that our compliance people push them on that.
Yes, that is my one caveat that I will throw in there. Is unfortunately it is mandated, illogically mandated in many cases. But yeah, it's one of those ones where, you know, we've had the conversation a number of times that it's so much more productive just sitting down around a table for a couple of hours with the people and basically Dungeons and Dragons for business. And you learn so much more, you engage so much more, you have more fun conversations. There's no adversarial stuff, and blah, 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 blah. It's just works so much better. For
sure, man. And we a couple of years ago, we started asking everybody that called FR Secure for a penetration test. We would all, it's part of the standard script now. Why?
Yeah, there we go.
Why do you need a penetration test? Yeah. Now, if you tell us because the FDIC, the last auditor, regulator came in and said you need to have one. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Because, and we needed to know that, one, because we're not fixing the broken industry if I'm doing shit for you that you don't need.
Yeah.
Two, a pen test for compliance is going to look a hell of a lot different. I'm going to put a hell of a lot less effort into that one than I would for a pen test that's actually a fucking pen test.
Yeah. We're doing this one for you guys at the moment, and we went through it and beat up on the system, and I'm like, okay, it's kind of cool. And then we're like, okay, can we have a little bit more time? And they're like, yeah, no problem. And there was a couple sub conversation was like, why? I'm like, because I actually want to beat the crap out of it. I've already put it half through the ringer. As I feel better, and I got 2 other folks working on it, as we feel better, I'm like, I want to put this fucking thing through the ringer because it's going on the internet, and I really want to make sure this thing actually does what it should do. I actually want to take the packages of the code to pieces and beat the crap out of them.
Right.
Yeah, big difference.
Yeah, I mean, and we just do so many things in our industry without ever asking why. Why are we doing this? Yeah. Why am I doing a pen test? Do I need one? Do I even know what the fucking pen test is?
Yeah.
Because I think the bulk of our society has no idea what a pen test is. And even more than half of people in our industry don't know what a fucking pen test is.
Just gonna say that. I was, there's this, I went through it with another company. Ryan chucked me over to another organization, and they're like, hey, what do you do? I'm like, well, we can just scan the damn things, we can assess them, or we can break in. I'm like, each one of those, the scan will take maybe 10 seconds.
Right.
I said, if you want me to assess it, it's not much more. Honestly, it's a couple of minutes because it's fairly easy in most cases. But you want me to break in? You better put a day aside per IP address, at least a day aside. If it's an application, you better give me a couple of days.
Right.
Like, no,
yeah. Wow. And I think even for people, because I see another big error here a lot for security people is their inability to put risk into context, right? Yes. So you may run a penetration test, and the red team, they got in, man, they did whatever they did, and so you stop everything and focus on that thing. But is that the most significant risk I should be working on right now? Being able to put that into context, be able to understand, how big a deal is it? So you broke into the system, big fucking deal, maybe, and maybe it's not a system I give a shit about.
Right, exactly.
So that's just another, I think, lie that I need a pen test when, maybe you don't, but then faking that you actually know how to use it if you had one. That happens a lot.
I mean, the other problem is as well is if we're not involved in the solution, that's the other challenge to me. We ran into this a couple of years ago. We did an assessment for an organization, and I mean, we went through them like a hot knife through butter in both the digital and the physical world. Well, they decided, in some ways in a not bad reason, to actually implement some additional physical controls. Mm-hmm. They put turnstiles and various other things in place, and it cost them a pretty penny because it was a big facility. And we're like, involve us, engage with us, we'll help you, da 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 da. They didn't do it. We go back 2 years later or 3 years later. It was like 2 or 3 years later because they changed their assessors every year. Good kudos. They came back to us and said, hey, we want you to come back in and run the same thing again. They're like, we've done well. We put all these controls in and they've held up. We went in. It took us 2 minutes to survey and get past their turnstiles that had cost them apparently over $1.5 million to put in. And they're like, motherfuckers. I'm like, guys, you didn't engage us to help you understand what to do. I'm like, if you'd have engaged us, not just in breaking the shit, but actually helping you understand what to think about and putting any kind of remediation in place, we would have held you on A, B, C, and D. And they're like, and you could see there was a shit ton lot of frustration on their part. And I totally get it. I also, this pisses me off because for 2 years, the other security teams hadn't managed to get through those. I'm like, what the fuck? So yeah, it was. It's very, very frustrating in some ways because I'm like, we're not here just to break shit. A lot of us actually want to help you understand how to improve.
Right. Yeah, 90% of all the things that I've been paid for took little or no skill.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, shit. Probably just like you. I mean, I remember breaking into a building once with telephone wire. They had, nice glass doors, and they didn't have the easy blit flip, but what they had is they had push bars on the other side. And this is before like Nickerson and the team came up with these cool push bars. So we ended up going down, stripping some telephone wire down to these single cable pieces and put a thin washer on the end of it and basically got it through the door and pushed it, and it went down and fell through, and we managed to hook it back in again and just did a bit of this, bit of this, bit of this, and this. And all of a sudden we're in the door and they're like, well, fuck.
I had to do that with a piece of weather stripping. It was the only thing I had.
Oh no.
Took for fucking ever. Well, it just happened to be that I had locked myself out of my own office.
Oh no.
Not my office, but the building, right? So I locked myself. I forgot to bring my card with me, and so I was locked out of the building. It was, I don't know, it was 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. So I wasn't keen on calling anybody.
Yeah.
And my keys to my truck were in the building. And so I couldn't get into my truck. And I'm like, well, what the fuck? So I'm looking around, I'm trying everything. I found a piece of weather stripping, and it had the door, whatever the hell that thing's called, the cover.
That overlap piece. Yeah.
Yeah. So I had to get it in and around and wiggle. Oh, fuck. It took forever, but finally got in,
Yeah.
and then I told, our facilities, hey, you want to fix that.
It is interesting. It's been a couple of like.
You're motivated. If you're fucking motivated, you'd be amazed at what the fuck you can get into, man.
Oh yeah. No, I'm totally with you. Yeah. We, God, so many times we've done that shit. But again, I think it's one of those where if you can demonstrate that to somebody and explain to them, hey, it's this easy, we actually don't need to do an assessment. We don't need to. What we need to do is have a conversation about the what if scenario, because
right.
And I think that's one of those things that we're missing. All right.
I love giving away free stuff too, man. I mean, so if I can just, if I can help you with just a simple phone call.
Right. There we go. Yeah.
Let's do that.
I mean, that's it. I mean, and honestly, I think it's the same thing as, it's less, I hate to say it, terrible as it sounds, it's less reporting. If I can spend 2 to 4 hours on a phone with you and the team, run through scenarios, get some things done, I can surmise that in a couple of pages. Whereas if I'm doing an assessment, that's a chunk of work on the back end that I'd much rather not have you be bashing away on the keyboard.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Yeah. Reporting sucks.
Yeah. Tell me about it. All right. So what's the next one? Number 11, I passed the audit, therefore I am secure.
Yeah, how many times have we seen that, man?
Too many. I mean, it's like that, it's like holding up the cross, isn't it? I am invulnerable. I am, I cannot be attacked. I cannot be, shit doesn't work. Sorry. It just, if you stand at your front door with your SOC 2 or your FERC, PCI, HIPAA, high trust, pick your fucking compliance. If you're going to stand there and wave that in the face of everybody that's attacking you, you're going to get laughed out of that. You're going to get laughed out of the room. I mean, let's face it. And I think, and the problem is again, we, being the royal we of the industry, perpetuate that.
Yeah, I hate SOC 2s. I hate any certification. And hate's not, I know it's a strong word, but I'm using it right.
Really? Because it's that false sense.
Right. It'll be interesting to see how CMMC comes out about, because that's another certification. Really, it's kind of an audit. So I'm a little bit concerned on how that's going to be.
It ain't much better. It's still a checklist.
I know. And it's those absolutes too, right? Because I passed the audit, therefore nothing other than you passed the audit. That's all it means.
Yeah. Congratulations. You either were able to lie to the auditor effectively, or pull the wool over their eyes, or hide the skeletons in the closet, Or maybe, hey, maybe you do have your policies, procedures, and controls in place. If you do, kick ass. I'm like seriously really pleased for you.
Well, let's
But
test the effectiveness, because we still know they can be bypassed. It's just how
there we
much
go.
work and how much effort is it going to take, and what's the
Yeah.
impact if it's going to happen. I mean,
Yep.
will I detect it? I mean, that's the big thing, right? So yeah, I didn't prevent the attacker from getting in the front door, but I had a guard standing right on the other side of that door, and they saw it, you know what I mean, and
Right.
reported it, and I was able to respond to it. And the number one question I always have gotten over the years, is about audits, about SOC 2, or about, because sometimes you don't have a choice. Sometimes you get pushed and forced into it. Like, if you want to get this customer, you must have a SOC 2, which
Yeah.
is the biggest fucking racket too. But the thing I always get from the CEO is, what's the cheapest way we can get that audit? What's the cheapest, fastest, cheapest? And so, well, what's the cheapest? To narrow scope. Let's make this thing like the scope like this teeny, just this one application.
Yeah.
I'll pass the audit easy. Don't look at the rest of this shit. That's not going to pass.
PCI was that way. I mean, the amount of companies were like, well, those computers don't have they don't have PCI data on. Don't worry about it. Yeah, they're on the same network. They're not patched. No, they're fine. Nothing to do with us. They're fine. They don't have PCI data on them, motherfuckers.
Now, it took them a while to wise up to that, because then they went to network segmentation, right? The PCI said, well, you have to segment your network. And then people are like, oh, VLANs, easy.
Yeah.
And they're like, no. Isolation, you sons of bitches.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hello.
I'm Omicron Prime.
Omicron Prime. Oh shit.
Don't even.
I'm vaccinated.
I got my shots. That let me go to a concert. I mosh pit. I went in a mosh pit in a parka, because that is a very Minnesota thing to do. It's also a very Ryan thing to do.
I'm gonna be right back. I gotta go pee.
All right, go pee. Yeah, because he has been holding it for a while. He has been waiting for you to arrive.
I know a guy that forgets to pee and then wonders why all of a sudden he doesn't feel good and everything hurts.
Oh no.
I'm dead serious. I work with this guy, like legit. Like, you'd have to remind him, like, hey, have you used the bathroom today? Oh yeah, I should probably do that.
How are you
About
doing?
the lies we tell ourselves. That sense of
I'm-
urgency isn't a need for the bathroom. It's my EDR working well.
How's everything going? How are you doing?
Good. I apologize, everybody. I'm sorry I wasn't here for the night. I had to support a friend. I had a friend. He was going to go to a show with his brother, and his brother decided to double down on the whole, I'm not taking a shot and I don't want anything to do with this. And it all got really weird. And he called me up, and he, a couple of weeks ago, and he goes, hey, so everybody bailed on me.
Oh,
Will you go? You don't have to pay. Like, I'll buy your drinks. Like, it's the whole thing, I'm like, dude, you ain't got to do all that. But it's like, will you go? So enthusiastically, I was like, but of course, let me support you and make you feel better. And I didn't fucking look at my calendar because, squirrel. And so the night arrived and I went, fuck. Well, no matter which way I go, I let somebody down. But this guy needed the lift more than I needed to be here. So I did what I thought was best. Again, I apologize, but I'm glad I was able to catch the tail end of it. I did get to tune in. Maybe you saw, I did try to live stream the show. I didn't do audio.
We got an interesting, it looked like a little rave.
Spectacle.
Yeah, it looked interesting for a bit. Definitely.
I won't say I'm a huge fan of the music, because that would be inauthentic. However, I love a good spectacle.
Got it.
There was their 30th anniversary show. They opened with, if you bought our first album, you should leave now and go home because you have grandchildren. We don't know why you're here.
That's awesome. Who is it? Somebody asked who is it. So who was it?
Oh, you can't see it. I gotta turn off the thing. So if you're not familiar with this band, if you're sensitive to anything, don't look into it. However, I did go see the band Gwar.
Oh my gosh, they look.
This is how they play. So these are their costumes that they wear.
Oh my
And
gosh.
it is they probably sprayed the audience with somewhere around 500 gallons of fake blood.
Oh, so it's
It's a thing.
it's what the hell is that called? Gore metal, gore metal, or whatever.
Yeah, gore metal. Yep.
Gore metal.
And they are the pioneers. And like I said, I appreciate metal. I could get my head bobbing a little bit. It's definitely not my primary genre.
Yeah.
To be there to support a buddy, give him a hug.
Did he enjoy it? Was he the?
It was at First Ave. I get to go to First Ave. I'm lucky. You people don't get to go to First Ave. You don't understand what it's like to be in the hallowed halls of First Ave. So Purple Rain filmed in First Ave.
Oh, damn. Okay, that's cool. That's actually really, really cool.
Last night I didn't get to go. Some of you know this, some of you don't, but my dad is a roadie. And he is a roadie for some pretty well-known rock and roll bands. And last night was the Lennon show. And it's been going on ever since John Lennon was assassinated. Curtis A is a family friend.
Yeah.
I actually demoed a building with Curtis A. So on the Curtis A side gigs with my old man on construction projects. One day I'll tell you guys some of the crazy stories of
that's
been around, but
awesome. That's awesome.
But so they did the Lennon show last night. Unfortunately, I couldn't go.
That would have been a cool one. Yeah.
Always, we got to get you up here to Minnesota, man. Seriously, I'll show you a good time. I got some.
No, this time of year sucks.
Yeah, I love you all, but I prefer the cold. I got to be honest. I prefer to be up there in the cold than in the mosquitoes. Let's just put it that way. I'm one of those weird people.
It's called DEET. It's good for you.
No, I hate it. No.
You see, I was gonna have an MRE for lunch, and right before I got a chance to make it, my wife brought me a corn dog. So tomorrow's lunch is an MRE.
Yeah, I saw your MRE lunch. I'm like, what the hell?
I'm feeling nostalgic. I'm going through that phase. A lot of nostalgia this year.
Go camp out in the garden, cover yourself in mud, and dig yourself a pit. Then have an MRE. Then you can be.
I cooked my food in the dirt on Thanksgiving.
That is true. Yeah. Okay. You can
we tell ourselves. I've been telling myself a lot of lies lately about how good the past was.
Ooh. Yeah. No.
It's not a lie.
Being honest, right? I've been very. This year's been a little bit of a rougher year, so I've been very nostalgic. And I was saying something to somebody, and they're like, "That's not how that happened."
Yeah.
I had to confront the reality that I was putting some rose-colored glasses on something that wasn't maybe as awesome as I wanted to remember it to be. And I wonder how much we do that in our work.
I was having a similar conversation. So when I was over in the UK, I spent a couple of days with Mum, and then I actually went down. I went down to see one of my former squadrons. And right next, and I didn't realize how close they were, but right next to them is a boatyard where Elliot Brown, the watch company, where Elliot Brown is. And I actually didn't realize that EB was literally across the fence. So I went down, hung out with some of the folks from C Squad, and we were talking and everything else. And they were showing me some of the new toys they get to play with, and we were just hanging out and just talking because they're in town. And then went over to EB and hung out with EB, and EB's done a bunch of stuff for some interesting folks. And so same thing, kind of reminiscing about things. And then, you take that step back. And I was driving back up to Swindon, and I'm like, you reminisce about the good times, but also remember the shit, and not necessarily the shit inside the squad, but the shit that we had to deal with. And you kind of forget about a lot of that stuff. And I was talking with the Elliot Brown guys, and I remember just thinking, I'm like, it all looks nice and tranquil, and the boats and all the shit, and we used to go out on the semi-rigids, and I'm like, and then I remember how fucking cold the North Sea and the English Channel is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, you forget that shit. I mean, it cold doesn't even come into it, and I'm like, I forgot all that. I'm like, oh, it's so mid. No, motherfuckers, it's cold. It's nasty, and you can see 2 inches in front of your face.
But I think that's part of the human experience, and that spills over into what we do, right? We don't like, our brains are wired to abandon things that are unpleasant as much as they can. So unless it's at that trauma level, your brain is inclined to discard the things that are unpleasant. I find it to be just part of the human experience. And so, I don't know that we think about that. I gave a talk today to the Indiana Infant Guard. And you know me, hand me a microphone and a soapbox, get out my way. I want to talk to you about some things. And some of those things have nothing to do with IT, and yet everything to do with security and IT, right? So it's life skills. It's connecting with the user. It's having those conversations. It's changing the dynamic and the narrative around the problem, because that works. The rest of this shit doesn't. You can XDR, MDR, SIMSOC till your eyes bleed and the cows come home, and you will be no more secure than you were before you did it. But if you invest in your humans and you have real meaningful conversations about why they have to be active participants, you start to shift that culture, you create security. Right? The security guard is only as good as the level of their care and willingness to participate.
Yeah.
Give them a uniform, give them a badge, give them a gun, stick in front of a building. Their effectiveness as a security control is directly tied back to their willingness to participate. If the guy's asleep, Evan and I had that experience. We had a security guard. We came outside and we discovered the security guard was straight passed out. You remember this, right, Ev? You went out to smoke and an old boy was just sacked, and you're like, yo, you want a Coke or something? You want to wake up?
Yep.
I wonder why our brain does that.
Diminished by your sleep.
Yeah. I
wonder how much the effectiveness of our security controls are diminished by the lies we tell ourselves, are diminished by the fact that without the active involvement of the humans we're trying to protect.
Oh, hugely so. On that second point, I would say hugely. I mean, it's a huge. I was at a dinner this evening, and was talking to the gentleman next to me. He was a former CEO of a number of credit unions. And he and I had a long conversation. He now consults to some of the big ones. And he and I were having a good conversation about security. And he was talking about it. He was like, and his wife and I, they get hit at home every now and again by stuff. And he's like, we get this, we get this. I'm like, okay. I said, he's probably 10, 15, maybe 15 years my senior. And I'm like, and how many people of your age group do you think actually understand enough to pay attention to this? And we had the conversation. It's not a huge number. I'm like, okay, how do we engage?
Simply. So I changed my Twitter handle because this is my new soapbox. This will be my January, February soapbox. So get used to it. It's called context.
You put something out about that today.
I changed my damn Twitter handle.
Oh God.
Put it into context. It dawned on me. I don't know. It was like 3:30 in the morning last night. And this is how it always works, right? I want to go to bed. I should be in bed. I need to be in bed. I've got shit to do in the morning and I can't sleep because I'm stuck. What is it? Why is it? Why? What do we need to change? What do we got to do different? How do we reach these people? And I'm going through the Rolodex of what I know has worked in the past. And it's always boiled back to context. Evan says it. I steal his stuff and run with it all day, every day, because it's great stuff, right? God puts it in his head first and then gives it to me to amplify.
Unless it's wrong, then that was
and generally I don't feel compelled if it's wrong. But vulnerability without risk, noise.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit if you got a vulnerability or not. What's the context?
Yeah.
What system?
Well,
What happens if it gets exploited? Is it the end of the world or is it an inconvenience? Which one is it?
But that model's been there for a while. We've had that dread and threat matrix models. I mean, we use that.
Yeah, but let's boil brass tacks for a second. Every vendor out there is selling. Oh, I shouldn't say every. The majority of vendors out there are selling on the basis that you're vulnerable.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah.
And my tool is going to fix that. I just saw one that says we stop 0 days.
Oh, don't motherfucking
Yeah.
go.
How the fuck did you do that?
Don't even. I had one of them on the fucking LinkedIn post.
Write it?
That motherfucking LinkedIn post added out there.
The only way you stop a 0 day is if you're the author.
That was I don't think I've deleted the numpty.
But you know, for me, it all comes back to that context, and I realized we are not connecting with our humans at a level and depth of detail that's relevant. I said this today, and I'm going to make it into a t-shirt. If it doesn't matter to me, it doesn't matter.
There he is. I found the numpty.
That's what we're dealing with. If it doesn't matter to me, it doesn't matter.
Deep instinct. There we go. Motherfuckers.
Who? Deep instinct?
Deep instinct.
I've heard of them.
Yeah, apparently they stop all the 0 days.
Of course they do. I knew that.
Maybe this is the one $3 million ransomware warranty.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fantastic. So hey Chris, you want to make 3 million?
I'm fucking tempted to, believe me.
Okay. Because I'm just saying.
Yep. Believe me, it's in there.
Okay, am I looking at the same website as you? Because my eyeballs hurt. I don't know who their UX person is, but they need to be fired.
I haven't hit it. I actually was looking.
It's bright blue and bright yellow. That's
I was looking at on my comments.
Mm-mm.
Keep instincts.
Predict, prevent, and promise.
There we go. AI secure. EDR is not enough. Stop responding. Stop preventing. PowerShell.
99% of 0 days stopped in less than 20 milliseconds.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe they have a different definition for 0 day. How does that work? Well, they only have 0.01% of false positives.
Is that the one that said that they can prevent things that?
Yeah.
Oh, they use vector of features. It's uniquely engineered. They take raw data. Then there's manual feature engineering. Not quite sure what that is, but it sounds fancy. Then that feeds into the vector of features. And then they do a random forest ML model.
Got it. Yeah.
Now, what you don't see is the invisible processes in between.
Yeah. No, it's totally, yeah, I'll buy it.
I mean, it just makes sense, right? Because that's how security works, right?
Yeah. How much is it? I want some of this.
I can request a demo. Of course, they don't share their pricing.
So I mean, the random forest model, I mean, it's, I wouldn't call it the most defined model out there by far and away.
Well, and allow me to toss the monkey wrench. So show me how your model has the biases it has.
Yeah.
And then randomize those biases, which isn't random.
Right.
I don't know. So here's my question, and maybe you guys covered this. I'm sorry, I was in and out. I tried my best to keep up on chat.
You're okay.
How many of us do you think have to tell ourselves a lie to get out of bed in the morning to keep doing this job?
Ooh, we have not covered that one.
No, I don't.
Well, I don't either, but that's because I have supreme confidence that we can win. I have supreme confidence that if we just get a handful more of us just like us, and we keep saying, look, fuckers, there's a way to do this, and it's very prescriptive, and it looks exactly like this. And if you do this, you actually move the needle. If enough of us do it, I believe we can win. I have a ridiculous level of confidence, probably a dangerous level of confidence. What about those that don't? How many of us have to
Well,
give ourselves the pep talk in the morning?
That's not why I get up, man. I mean, I get up because I don't get tired of helping people.
I get that. We're driven by something different, but let's be honest, the majority of folks in this industry are not driven by the same altruistic serve and help that drives us.
As long as they just keep making money.
Right. But do they have to lie to themselves to make that money? Do they have, I mean, at a certain point, I like to believe that most people are decent on the inside as an individual. Get them in groups, forget it, all bets are off. But as individuals.
Well, I think some people lie to themselves without even knowing that they're lying to themselves, right? You sold your soul and don't even realize you did it.
So I'll argue this one for a second. I'm going to play devil's advocate. The lie, I don't know if it's a lie. A pep talk, yes. I can make a difference. I can make a difference. I can make a difference.
That's not a lie.
That's not a lie.
It's a pep talk. To me, it's a pep talk. But then I will argue sometimes if it doesn't feel like I can make a difference. Does that make sense?
Yeah. You do know I work to serve K-12, right? I don't know if you know how hard that is, but
I've been, yeah.
It's a special thing.
Oh, yeah. No,
So yeah, I get it. It's discouraged is one thing, but I really do think there are people that believe that if I just sell 5 more licenses of this thing that I know in my heart of hearts doesn't actually fix anything, I can tell myself that I'm helping. And now I can go through.
See, that one I don't know. That one's a tough one because that I'm not in. I mean, that's part of the reason I left the organizations I was working for. Because I didn't believe it and I wouldn't, and I had no, but I think there's probably quite a few people. And again, we go back to the almighty dollar. I think because people have gotten themselves to a place where they don't feel like they have a choice. They don't know that there's another way of doing it. Yeah.
I just talked to somebody about this the other day about money and happiness and how you can't buy it. However, I will stand by this statement. While money cannot buy happiness, it can rent the fuck out of it.
There we go. It can definitely make
it makes
if used wisely, it can make the pathway towards it a hell of a lot less rocky.
But I don't know, it's this. The cake is a lie. I mean, I go back to it. The cake is a lie. This idea that we can throw technology at this problem and actually make a difference. We can't. What does the tech do? The tech tries to detect the failures of the human.
I think, okay, so I'll flip that argument. I actually think tech can help. Perfect example, point in case. We generate so much data these days that an average human isn't going to be able to find that needle in the haystack on their own.
I agree.
So tech as an enabler,
well, it's a tool.
There we go.
It's like any tool.
Right.
There are correct ways to use it.
Yeah, it facilitates. It gives you an advantage.
And I'm not disputing that.
Yeah.
But it doesn't solve the problem. What does it do? It surfaces information so that another human being can make a determination. And if it's doing automation, it's simply taking what some human being fed into it for determination.
No, all right, log out. So take SOAR. SOAR is probably that. SOAR is where I'm thinking.
Okay.
So security.
So security. For those of you that don't know, security operations automated response is what Chris is referring to.
Yeah. So if you look at a SOAR type solution, if it's been implemented and integrated effectively, it will give you the ability to focus the humans more effectively.
Agreed. I don't disagree with that. However, still have that human factor
but it solves the problem of overwhelming amounts of data. It solves the problem of searching the needle in the haystack. It solves the problem of the fact that we have too much to look at and not enough eyes or time to look at it.
Have we lied to ourselves and convinced ourselves that we need all that data?
Now I'm
just being fun with it. I'm just
you're allowed to. No, hell, you're allowed to. I have no problems with that, because there is a point in time where you're like, do you really need to collect the fucking log data from that system?
I just don't know if you need that much data collected. I just don't.
No, we must collect all the datas. We must store all the datas in the AWSs, because the AWSs needs to build more data centers to keep their profit.
And this is coming from a guy who's getting ready to collect a lot of data from a lot of people.
Yeah.
Right. So I get the double-edged sword. But I haven't lied to myself about.
But if I collect all the data, I can make a more informed decision.
Trying to help a lot of people, trying to help over half the population.
Ooh, oh, ha ha. Ooh. All right, I'm playing, and now I'm going to play real devil's advocate. The people, I would argue, in the current condition, cannot effectively look after themselves. Therefore, if I collect the population.
I don't like that you're right.
No, I know you don't. You can lie to yourself. Just
wait. Can I caveat this?
No, I'm going to keep going.
Americans and Europeans.
No, I'm adding extras in there.
No way. Let me take you to third world. Let me take you to Cambodia, bro. They got it figured out.
I'll take you.
They stuck on their phone.
I'll take you to India.
No, that's not fair, because India is nothing but an overpopulated North America.
Yeah, but there we go. But I got 1 billion people to play with that can't protect themselves. I got one sixth of the population of this planet that I can abuse and use at my disposal.
Yeah.
All right. So now now I have to collect all the datas on all the peoples to effectively protect them. And if the more data I collect on them, the better opportunity and the better chance I have to protect them effectively.
Yeah, but they still have to participate. I can put in all the sprinkler systems in the world, but if you start a fire in your living room, pour gasoline on it.
Can't dispute that. But if I can validate the fact that you're buying gasoline and you don't have a car, then I'm going to red flag that.
Oh, I get it. I get that in 2025, my car is going to refuse to allow me to drive it because of how I drive it.
Oh yeah, I don't even shit. I'm in some ways. I'm looking for. I'm glad.
You know, you getting pulled over. You know, it's just gonna auto pull your ass over to the side.
Oh yeah,
that
no,
120.
No.
It's gonna be
I'll have the laptop will be out, and I'll be injecting fucking PID IDs into that thing like a motherfucker. I'm like,
your packets. No. The speedometer says 10 miles an hour.
Oh my god. Okay, so I landed in the UK on a Saturday morning, went and picked up the rental car.
Ooh, I gotta put on Richie's shirt. Richie, I'm getting your shirt. Hold on.
I got Richie's shirt behind me. I've lost him. Are you still here? Can you still hear or not?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, cool. So I get out of Heathrow and jump onto the M4 motorway. Now, I've driven on this motorway my life, basically, on and off for over years. And the M4, once you get out of Heathrow, you get a little bit past the mess that is Heathrow, and the M25. And you used to be able to just put your foot down. And most of the M4 moved at 80, 90 miles per hour. Speed limit is 70. But everybody doing is fucking 50. And I'm like, the fuck is going on? And there's cameras. And not just one or two cameras. There be lots of cameras. And we're talking cameras on gantries, cameras over gantries. We're talking cameras looking at cameras. We're talking cameras that are up on yellow poles. We're talking cameras that are on normal poles, cameras on white poles, cameras under the bridges. We're going 50 miles an hour because that's what it told us. And apparently every other motherfucker's going to 50 mile an hour because you could literally lose your license inside 1 mile on that fucking motorway.
Is the yellow Metro and the white GHCQ, or how do we delineate who owns what camera there? So Richie, I apologize. My lovely wife and you don't know this, but Chris and Evan do. The postman was, how you say, abusive to the package, and it showed up borderline shredded. And so out of an act of kindness, she went to wash it for me tonight because they did get some ick on it from tearing the package open, some grease or something, I don't know. But unfortunately, it's still in the wash, so I will wear it next week. I love the shirt, thought it was great. Again, lovely wife tried to help and wash it for me. And so now it is just soaking wet and not ready to put on. So, and I hold Evan accountable for the abuse my package received, because he keeps putting these lovely titles and names on these packages that he sends, and I think he's making my postman upset. I really believe that my postman is suffering from envy and jealousy that somebody likes me enough to be thoughtful. I mean, I sent you the picture, Evan. That looked like some pretty ragey revenge happened to that package.
Yep, he's got more messages. Your mailman's got more messages coming. Specifically for him or her, I guess.
Oh, great. Thanks. Well, I've already told Amy we'll be picking our mail up at the post office from now on.
Yep. Yep.
I'm glad I got a chance at least to jump on with you guys real quick. I know we're running long, running late, but good to see you.
It's good, man. It's good. It's good for you, and I talk pretty often.
Yeah. Well, I had to do what I had to do. I made the decision I felt was best to support the person I thought that needed it most.
Oh, dude, nobody's giving you shit about that.
No, I know, but still.
You're the only one giving you shit about that.
I'm giving myself shit about it. It was just poor coordination.
You need to learn better time management skills, man.
Well, no shit. You and my wife can have a summit about that.
No, I'm not. I'm not the poster child.
Oh, wait, you're not one to talk?
Nope. Nope. But I do need to go to bed pretty soon. I got meetings in the morning.
I know. I got to work tomorrow too. We'll let Chris come back. We'll close it out.
Then Saturday's Mexico.
Going to Mexico.
Yeah.
I like it.
And yeah, maybe I don't pass the COVID test and I have to stay.
Okay. So licking people in the village.
They're tasty people.
Evan, sorry guys. Yep, I'm screwed. Tested positive for the Omicron Prime.
My bad.
By the way, it
I have
goes
to
like
stay in
this.
Mexico forever.
If you want to freak out some people, get in line at a concert with the Transformer mask on, and then go Omicron Prime, COVID in disguise. You 80 babies will get that. The rest of y'all is lost.
Different strokes for different folks, man. I get it. I think.
Maybe. You saw Transformers, right? I know you're not a big TV guy, but I feel like you had your fair share of Saturday morning cartoons.
Yeah, no, yeah, I used to watch TV. Now I just, it can't keep my, what's it called? Attention. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because, or it's like a series and it's like, fuck, I need to devote like,
I gotta binge watch this.
God knows how many
2.5 days.
How many hours to watch a series, So yeah,
I like documentaries. Documentaries.
Watch sports, but that sports got all fucking political, so I don't watch that anymore.
Yeah, sports got a little weird. Go sports ball.
Speaking of sports,
what's proper football or cricket? Cricket is not political. Well, not too political.
Speaking the Minnesota Wild won tonight. That's 8 games in a row.
Nice. Chris, you should make fishy fish. You got Fisherman's Wharf, but you're not doing it right.
Do what?
Fishy fish.
What are you talking about?
So the Finnish have a drink, and it involves Fisherman Wharf cough pills and vodka.
Oh, Fisherman's Friends?
Yeah. So you load up the vodka with like, I don't know, a couple boxes worth of cold pills. You let it all melt together, and then that's the drink.
Well, hang on a second. Keep talking for a minute. We can do that.
I learned this from a second Dan jiu-jitsu master. This is what they would do. They would beat the shit out of each other all day long in their jiu-jitsu class. And then they would drink this fishy fish at the end of the night. And then get up the next day and do it all over again. Never got the appeal.
No.
Hurt all day, get drunk as shit, and then get hurt again while you're hungover. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
No.
But some people apparently are really into it.
No.
No?
No. No.
I was invited to participate and I was like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah, I'll watch. Enjoy.
I weigh like 7 grams. It's not hard to throw me on the mat. And it hurts.
Where's Chris now?
I don't know. He wandered off. I was trying to close the show and then he went somewhere.
You told me to get vodka and Fisherman's Friends.
Oh, okay. Well,
in 25 minutes, Chris.
oh, you did not start on time.
We did.
We did actually.
Really? No.
Yeah.
We did.
Oh, now I feel bad.
Vodka and Fisherman's Friends.
Right. So you gotta let them melt. You get them in there, you let them just do their thing. It's gonna take a little bit.
No, it won't.
Oh, there we go. This is the
cut,
part where Chris like smashes the glass.
gonna cut his fucking finger off.
Please don't do that.
No, those are money makers, Chris. You got to keep those.
That is true. I'll move them up here.
Yeah. It's the only things I need to make money is these and this. That's
Yeah,
it.
no, I'm with you on that one.
I literally picked my mortgage based on a head injury. So I was still wanting to be able to pay my mortgage if I could. The only option for work was pushing carts at Walmart.
Oh, that's not a bad way of doing it. I like that idea.
I don't live in fear, but I realize that it's my noodle that makes my dollars. And if something was to ever happen to me, I get a head injury or something.
Yeah, it's a smart move.
So you got to have contingency plans. So then we're buying the house. They're like, you qualify for this. I'm like, no, I don't. You go write that like I'm dirt poor. Thanks.
Yeah, well, that's cool. Jesse's the same way. We just changed the ownership on the boss. And same logic on that one. It's he went to the Belco Credit Union and had to talk with those folks, and same kind of thing. They're like, oh my gosh, you could do blah, 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 blah. And he's like, nope. So I love him for it because it's still going to come out of the company, but it's over to him now. So I'm actually makes me really happy.
Well, good.
Yeah.
Connect with me this weekend to figure out if it's viable to come visit or not. And then if not, we'll pick a different date.
Yeah.
So I'm coming to visit. I mean, we have to do this. Like this is a thing. Chris and I must watch The Princess Bride.
I know. I actually bought it and I'm sitting in there and I hadn't actually watched it. Part of me wants to actually go to the end and watch the end of it and then just.
No, why would you do that? No. I want to be there. I want to see you experience it frame by frame. Evan, you are more than welcome to come and join us for this adventure.
I'm good. Thanks.
It's like, I'm going to go scuba dive.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't blame you. That'd be cool. We can scuba dive and watch Princess Bride.
I mean, that's the thing. We could do that. They do have underwater screens.
They do.
Well, it's almost 12:30. You guys are awesome. I appreciate you.
Totally.
Like seriously, thank you so much for taking the show on tonight and carrying it
forward.
forward.
This is a repayment for me. I fell asleep before last week's.
Yeah,
I didn't even make it.
Still appreciate you guys. I cannot tell you how lucky I know I am to have friends like you.
Luck is a lie. Doesn't exist.
Well, blessed. All right. So I'm blessed, right? But I seriously, graciously, and like I said, I've been a little sappy. It's holiday season, nostalgic and all that, but as I was reflecting on things I'm grateful for, you two gentlemen are absolutely at the top of the list. Just the authenticity that we have, the genuineness of the relationship, absolutely invaluable. So appreciate you guys. Like you guys like a whole lot. Look forward to hanging with you separately and together. Everybody, appreciate you tuning in. I mean, we've been doing this shit for over we're almost going on 2 years doing this now. Something like that. Year and change for sure.
Yeah, it's nice. It's needed. I'm glad we did it this evening. Thank you. I was kind of in that two minds, partly because of the throat, but I'm hanging in. It's good. I got my drugs.
Well, have the fishy fish. You'll feel better.
Well, really, when you think about it, this is kind of a support group. You know what I mean?
Yeah, actually, that's a really, really good way of looking at it. It is.
It is
a little 3-person support group, and then having the people
ever be hanging.
Because most of the people that are here or have been here, we've met in person before. Just outstanding people, and I think this is our we get this buttoned down a little bit more, and we can really grow it and create an army of truth tellers and shit.
Yeah. We'll mature the show. We'll get a little intro and some music and a lovely voice announcing our entrance.
All right, I love you guys.
All right, you guys are awesome. Love you. Thank you, everyone.
Take care, everybody.
We're doing next week, right? We're on for that, and the week after is Christmas.
Yeah, and I think we should just do like a short show on Christmas, maybe. Like,
I'm not against it, man. I ain't got shit going on, so.
What date, and all that good stuff.
I don't know. I have a calendar.
Next week is what, 16?
The 24th. So it'd be Christmas Eve. Oh, Christmas Eve.
No, it's the day before Christmas Eve.
Day before Christmas Eve. So yeah, we'll do a Christmas special. Yeah, I've got it on the calendar. It says Christmas special show right here. So we'll do something.
Yep, that'll be fun.
All right, I love you guys. Get back to work.
All right.
Love you guys too. Take care.
Good night.
Bye.